Everyone's here. May the 2nd. Well, first of all, sorry for being late. 1, 2. May the 2nd weekly inaugural council of Los Santos, the Council of Eight, begin. Huzzah!
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 Sound like a question, Juno.
Oh.
So, does everyone have access to being able to see documents and like live edit them and shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah.
Okay. From now on, for the next meeting, we're gonna have I have a meeting agenda document.
Ooh, okay.
I like that.
So that we don't go on for too long.
I just
So-
saw
Great.
that too. Did you just put these in today?
No, I put them in last night. I kind of worked late, me and Juno.
Have a good one, Spells.
For the next, I wanted to write something to show you guys how I imagined the agenda would look like. You put your name, colon, and the shit you want to talk about, kind of like how we did.
Okay.
That way we can be kind of prepared for what everyone's bringing to the table. Doesn't have to be too comprehensive. Don't have to write it right now. Just for the next one. So, I issued some homework. Does anyone remember what it was?
I was dying of the flu. I don't remember most of what happened. I'll be real.
Okay,
But I'm here.
good. The
I
homework
remember.
was to kind of
Expungement program.
craft a vision of what the pardoning process and the expungement process would look like, just so that
No,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah,
the MDT
not
as
like
well.
not like
No, I don't
writing
have that
something, but
access.
just kind of like thinking of how you would envision it, just so that when I present what I want to present, we're just all kind of on. We all have something to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a council pardoning process last night and an expungement process. This is once again probably more. It might be more dense than what everyone else has. So if we'll do my shit last again. Does anyone have any proposals they'd like to present?
Yeah, I could just rapid fire my proposals. They're all in there.
Sure.
First one, pretty straightforward. Basically, new law for a commercial parking violation. Time and fine. Whatever. That could change. But basically, I've noticed that a lot of Grime and Group 6 vehicles specifically like to park wherever the fuck they want when doing these runs. It's a big problem at the courthouse. It can be a big problem at the hospital. I know they do it at senior buns as well. Don't know how much of an issue that is in general, but they do it a lot. So I figured this is an easy way to ding them a little bit, make money for the state, and kind of not get them in line with everyone else, but maybe at least make the sidewalks a little cleaner where these Grime and Group 6 pickup and drop offs are. That's the gist of it.
Are you going to draft up like what it should read like in the charges list?
Yeah, I mean, like that's something I could work with Crane, but it'd literally be unauthorized parking. But if you're a sanitation truck, tow truck, Grime vehicle, or Group 6 vehicle,
It's like an overly sized vehicle, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a problem that I've witnessed as well. Do we have any nays for approving the commercial parking violation?
I would just have one thing to add to it, just to like flesh it out, because there are certain areas where I know I can't speak to the others, but Group 6 specifically parks in a certain fashion because of the fact that they're transporting large sums of money.
Are you talking about the vault door?
Correct.
Vault door?
Yeah, I mean, if they have to do it, I think that's obviously a clear exception, right? Like the police would just know, okay, we're not going to ding people for this.
Yeah, which is fine. I just wanted to make sure I put it out there so it's in the.
Maybe if they had like a back door or something.
Yeah.
But wasn't there guidance put out by the cops about that though, where they said when you're dropping off at the vault, you have to do it here.
Yes,
you have to do it in a certain way, or it's not legitimate.
Correct. Yeah, I made that note. I just wanted to bring it up again for everyone here, just so it was seconded.
Okay. So the vault drop off would be the only exception to this. Yeah, because like they will literally just pull up right to the courthouse doors in their trucks, and it's a little ridiculous.
I've heard people say they'll do it at the hospital and pull right to the doors, which is
Oh,
crazy.
yeah,
I haven't seen
I've
that, but
seen
I've
it.
heard people talk about
I
it.
have witnessed it. Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Would this also qualify behind Bay City Bank, where they line up to get as close to the door as possible? I know that's also a
I would say
logistical
in
thing
that
for them.
case, no, because that's like an alleyway. Like
We don't
it-
have
it-
laws about parking in alleys.
Okay,
Yeah, okay. Well, there you
perfect.
go. Then.
No problem.
All right. Well, I guess yeah. Any nays?
Huzzah!
I am
So-
100% for
Yeah,
that.
it's all.
All right. Next thing, this is going to be the just the one right above it. Lawyers required on all contracts. I guess like a little mini disclosure. This kind of came about from just talking with various members of the DOJ and seeing a court case pop up in which this is kind of an issue. The TLDR is there's a lot of people on the yellow pages who advertise contract services. Many of them are claiming to be former lawyers, legal aids, et cetera, et cetera. You know, playing a little bit fast and loose in this. Personally, I don't have any problem if someone wants to write a contract, but I do think that a lawyer should be required to sign it for it to be legally binding. You know, that just gets someone else, like a third party, to look over the contract, make sure it's following the law, you know, the legislation that we all pass here. And there's really no excuse if that contract, you know, it isn't in compliance at that point. If a lawyer does help write a contract, that would also make it a legal service that is covered under the attorney-client privilege, as contract services is a type of law service.
Yeah, people shouldn't be writing contracts like that if they're not lawyers, because then
Yeah.
essentially we try to adjudicate whose fault was and whether or not it should be enforceable. There's no one to hold accountable if it's written poorly.
Exactly.
The only thing I have in here, and once again, you know, we could change it if you all want, but this is a retroactive thing. If a contract currently doesn't have a lawyer's signature on it, if they
Null and void.
well, no, they have 14 days to get one, right? Like if they can't find a lawyer in 2 weeks to say, hey, this is legal, they clearly don't give a fuck because they're not trying hard enough. But the point is, there is no grandfather clause. Your contract has to get a lawyer to sign it for it to be legal going forward and even retroactively.
Seems reasonable.
Yep.
Just one question. What if there's like a legal how would I even say this? What if the contract is already being brought up for dispute legally before someone's trying to go get a lawyer to sign it?
I mean, look, that could, in theory, just be like a case by case basis, right? The
Okay.
trial judge could handle that at the time. You know, I know there's already one case like that on the docket. Maybe there'll be others,
Wow.
but this should at least cover 99% of existing documents. You know.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had
We vote on
MDT
that?
excess.
Any voters? Any nayers?
I'm putting my bets
No
on
neighbors.
No.
unanimous
Okay,
yes.
easy enough.
And then the last
Wow.
thing, this one is more of an open discussion with you all, but it is going to be the one right above that. At the disclosures, I have that as a work in progress. Basically, I've talked to various people, you know, once again, from, you know, either on this council or within the DOJ. And I've kind of separated this into 3 levels of disclosures. You know, we have the light, the medium, and the heavy section. And yeah, it's just like, how strict do we want to be with our ethical disclosures?
So the lawyer one's approved. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
The contract lawyer one got approved.
I'm just adding an approved tag when we do that.
Oh, okay.
Fuck yeah, good idea.
The hell am I?
Don't everyone speak at once on ethics here.
If I'm looking at this
Yeah.
straight off the bat, my initial would be medium minus the name of your legal and blood relative.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I mean, personally, I'm if we yeet, the names of blood relative, I'm fine with that. I mean, we as the council could always tighten these or loosen them as time goes on with like another vote in the future.
Which document is this? Because I'm seeing. I don't think I've quite been able to find it.
1483. It's ethical disclosures work in
Perfect.
progress.
I just see too many damn medical reports. Sometimes things are hard to find.
Oh,
Thank you.
1483.
Perfect. I appreciate it. All right, I got it here.
Kermit, you growing weed?
He knows better. I'll end his life. Stop. Okay. Well, I'm used to heavy disclosures, honestly, back when I was deputy mayor, so I have no issues with that. So, but that's
Good friends is probably too expensive. I think that's
That is very
vague
yeah.
and
In this city,
subjective to
everyone's
who you
friends.
are and
Yeah.
how social you are.
Yeah, like I said, I'm good with medium, other than cutting out the relatives portion.
Yeah, I mean, if you just add, well, I mean, people on city council really shouldn't be holding private
that's you, Kermit.
business employment separate from their job anyway, right?
Oh,
No.
that's Max. All right.
So, I mean, we just get rid of the categories and just make it so that, you know, you just disclose investments and you agree. I mean,
Oh, the reason why I have this employer
Seems fair.
consult for like for me as an attorney, you know, I may still consult with people, or I may still be an attorney for people on like one-off cases, right? And I mean, is that something that we feel that I as a lawyer on this council should have to disclose? That you know, sometimes you know people come to me, you know, these XYZ come to me for advice on various legal matters, or is that not relevant to our work here before the council?
I think there's a difference between one-offs and an ongoing relationship, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, entities that you consult for. I mean, that would be an ongoing thing, in my opinion.
Well, I think it's impossible to qualify, right? Like, so for example, the reason why it's bad to be employed somewhere is because you have an ongoing, confirmed, you know, formal allegiance via contract. Same with like a retainer, same with being employed as a, you know, business associate somewhere or an investment partner. But you know, if you happen to consult for someone along the way, I don't know how you could control that as well. I don't know.
Yeah. disclosures are tricky because, like you said, a lot of us have been around here for a very long time. We know a lot of people. Myself, I really don't like have any issue with saying, okay, yeah, I can throw in my 2 cents on this, but y'all should probably know that, like I've known this person for blah, 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 blah. We've been friends for a very long time. Or, you know, I'm interested in, investing in this business that, may be coming forward, blah, 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 blah. So, hey, my brother is wanting to open this business, So I'm going to sit back and just chill on this one.
I mean, do we want to just vote in light disclosures then? We could chew on this a little bit more. And if we get into gray areas in the future, maybe we could amend the ethical disclosures legislation.
It's fine with me.
Yeah,
Sure.
I have no issues with just easing into things, baby steps.
All right, well then we'll ask for a vote just on light disclosures, ethical disclosures right now.
Any nays? Sick.
All right.
Hmm.
We're
All right,
all
okay.
mayors today. All right.
That's-
I know, yeah.
That's
I mean,
all
this
I
is
got.
how
got.
it
Far.
started last time too. So, yeah.
Philippa, you said you had something?
No, I don't. Honestly, I've been too sick, so I'm just here to vote on things this time around.
Well, I got an
Oh.
announcement.
Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
Just to
okay.
get it out of the way. So y'all may notice as you're walking around or driving around the city, you may see new PD cars. Those have not been purchased for them by the state. They are not in full active use. What it is that a manufacturer has collaborated with PD to allow for test driving so that they can, improve their engineering. It's kind of like a partnership. There's no money changing hands there. It's just PD are volunteering their time and the manufacturer is getting information. What has happened is that Mosley's has taken in a stock from the same manufacturer of the basic models, the CVPI and the Vapid. And those two models are now available for purchase at Mosley's. So if individual officers save up enough money, they can purchase their own police vehicles and then upgrade them as they see fit.
Are those only purchasable by police?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So just so there's no confusion, there's no government
That's
stipends
cool.
being handed out under the table or anything. It will still need to go, as we discussed, either through personal expenditures by PD or an approved budgetary expenditure by us, which we have not approved as of yet.
Correct.
Hmm.
That's it.
All right. I do have something I want to bring forward.
Mhm.
I
Is
don't
it
know.
The Ego Act?
It is the Eco Act.
This shit looks good, dog.
It is a. Do you know what the Rust Act is? I'm assuming most people know what the Rust Act
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
very
was-
familiar, very
Yeah.
familiar, very
Not me.
familiar. Not
I ju-
you?
But so just
Hmm.
reminders, is this basically serial assault and killings but expanded to
No.
things,
It is
or-
basically targeted, right?
Different.
It is targeted harassment towards the same people, businesses, and and that general groups. Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm bringing this forward is because currently what is happening at Mosley's is that nobody wants to work there because they are being targeted for something that had nothing to do with.
Yep.
So I figured bringing back the Rust Act with a different name would be a good call because of that. Currently, people are being targeted at Mosley's because of something that is going on between somebody that works for Mosley's and another entity or another group.
Mhm.
And it has nothing to do with the people there, basically. But they're just being caught in the middle.
Yeah, I was actually almost stabbed the other night because of this bullshit. So I am all for it.
I'm for it in general.
Awkward.
My question is one of the pitfalls we had of the last version of the Rust
Mhm.
Act is gang member or alleged gang member works at X civilian business or just happens to be there at the time. And the claim was always like, oh, we're not going after the business. We're targeting this particular gang member or this particular criminal group who just happens to be there at the time. Is that still going to be an issue under this, or are we saying like doesn't matter, you targeted them at the business, you're getting
I would
things
say
for
it doesn't
that?
matter.
Okay.
Well,
Because you have
in order
three-
to remove that kind of like squirreling, we could get rid of the premeditation being a requirement.
Yes, and it also means that you do it
Yeah.
3 times in a month at the same place. If you manage to do that 3
Yeah.
times, I feel like you as a person should rethink how you go about handling your shit.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like that is
Yeah, if we can
I agree.
deter people from attacking civilian businesses, that would be fantastic. And I
Yeah,
think
if
this is
you
a
wanna
good way
go
to start
after
doing that.
somebody, don't just wait for them outside of their job.
So how do
And
we
al-
prevent? Hold on. How do we prevent gangs from making civilian businesses their base of operations?
Well, I mean,
I have an idea.
don't let criminals run.
They don't have to run it. They can just hang out
They
there.
can work there or hang out, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, but they could also just hang out at the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why aren't they doing that?
Oh, they used to.
Yeah, funny you ask.
Yeah, that has happened.
Yeah. So I'll say without dwelling too much on the past, the Rust Act was incredibly difficult because the allegation was that the people who were quote unquote defending the place of business were alleged to be civilians, and the people who were attacking the place of business were alleged to be gang members. So the way that it worked was
I
that
don't think I'm wording that right.
we could only ever charge the people who attacked the business. And that's fair if indeed the people defending are civilians and the people attacking are gang members. The problem is that we run into a situation where, as already brought up here today, if the people defending the business act like gang members but do so under the guise of, being civilians standing their ground,
Yeah.
how do we parse that out?
I don't know if this is going to be a topic either at like this meeting or a future meeting, but my question to the mayor's office would be, could there be a system in place down the line where you could revoke a business license if it is basically just being used as a front?
I think there should be something like that.
I
There
agree.
will be.
Yeah, agree.
There will be. Don't worry, guys.
Okay, no,
Perfect.
I didn't.
Yeah. Are we gonna touch on businesses at all today?
That's the purview of
No.
the mayor's office. I'm gonna handle it. Everything will be put up for review, just as a courtesy to you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic.
What
I keep getting lots of questions. That's why I asked. So.
as
Yeah,
far as
tell them to come to me, and then I'll tell them to fuck off.
fair enough. Yeah, as far as Ego Act, I mean, I'm fine with getting something on the books. I think the intention of it is very good, and then we could cross bridges as we come up with them, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
our
exactly.
predecessors.
It's kind of I kind of left. Go on.
Sorry, no, you go on.
I was gonna say I kind of left it as it is because we can always reword it, and I didn't put any times or fines down because we can always discuss that. It was just to bring it on to bring it forward and on the table. So
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely get rid of the premeditation part, in my opinion.
you.
yeah, you can just remove it. You should be able to do that.
If you want to even take a look at the chart, or can you look at charges in your MDT? You should be able to, right?
We
Okay.
can, yeah.
If you want to just cross-reference it even a little bit with gang-related shooting to kind of parse out where you think the crossover might be, I don't know if that'll help or not, but it is in there at least.
All right, I'll pay you back after this.
Don't worry about it, Mr. Turbot.
As far as gangs using these places as kind of like a impromptu safe haven or whatever, we could beef up loitering fines and shit. If it doesn't seem like they're actually
Do
working
we
there.
have loitering?
I don't know. Do we?
No.
No.
No, that was taken out. Yeah, that was.
Loitering was
ordinance
removed
in
by
the past.
popular vote in the
Yep.
past.
So when it comes to this, obviously you've offered Mosley's as a situation where this is happening, but
Yes.
just
Also,
so are people actually being arrested for these things? Like, are there like is
the
this happening? Is there anyone that actually
Ye-
could be charged with this right now? Like
Yes.
them getting
Yes.
attacked
Yes.
versus getting
I'm not
arrested
gonna
is
put
different.
names out there, but there's definitely current issues where people are being harassed for things that they have nothing to do with, and it is specifically at
What a way to
Moses.
find out
But
about.
I feel like Senior Buns could also be another place of interest
Mhm.
for something like this. They do have Fuck You Fridays, which apparently kind of rubs people the wrong way sometimes.
Oh
I
yeah.
hate that that's a thing.
I get
Well, that
that.
would be perfect with this because it's all about fucking ego, and this is called the Ego Act.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, a civilian group could be customers of Senior Buns, and you could charge the workers with this maybe if you really wanted to.
It is very it's very strong. So I guess I want to feel out if it's truly necessary.
Well,
to set
it's
it up
strong because
earlier
it should.
If you have the same people
Yeah, what's good, Shiny?
being arrested for, attacking senior
Thanks to
buns
Ab1 for my
so,
sub gift.
if it's constantly happening, which I know for a fact, I have seen the same people either being attacked or attacking at senior buns and getting taken down just as EMS.
Mhm.
So, like, I mean, the ones that I don't even get calls to, I can't even imagine. But I mean, like, if they're doing this multiple times in like a week or even a month, like, they need to.
Yeah, it's on them at that point if it's
Yeah,
that
they need
frequent.
to
That's
be
fair.
snapped
Yeah.
up because
Mhm.
stop acting like a fucking animal, please.
Fuck it. All right.
The only the only thing I would ask, and I don't even know if this is an issue or not, and I might ask, Chief Justice yourself, would we want to keep the term targeted violence in there, or is there a way to make it more specific?
That's the same thing as premeditated.
Okay.
Proving targeting is mens rea. You're proving a thought process. You could do it constructively by saying, they drove a fucking oil tanker directly into Mosley's or flew a plane into the building.
They did do that, by the way.
Oh, I was using examples from the past.
Yeah,
But
it's crazy.
Yeah, I was there for that.
but yeah, you could prove it constructively or directly, but most of the time you're going to be arguing their state of mind, which again limits you in how you can prosecute.
Got it.
You could make it easier and just say like if they're caught on the property 3 times for doing something dumb.
That could get a little bit
messy.
Yeah, I was I was thinking more like a violent felony or
Yeah, what if instead of targeted violence, we say felonious violence or something? Like
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
actually,
more where I
that
was
would be
coming
good.
towards.
Yeah.
So I think one thing that might be good to utilize here is twofold. One, we make the definition as general as possible. So get rid of terms like targeted, things like that, right? The idea of the discernible pattern or purpose, get rid of that. Okay, just make it a strict liability. If 3 attacks happen against a civilian, individual, group, or business in the period of 30 days, and then make it what is known as an indiscriminate or a indefinite sentencing crime. So it's not held until trial, but in the MDT, the penal code will appear as zeros for the time and fine. And what that means is that it just has to go in front of a judge. So this way, if let's say it's Bobby Charles and someone else attacking Mayor Max over and over, those guys are knuckleheads. We're not going to send them to jail for, a year and fucking 100 grand because they keep, kicking Max in the shins or whatever, right? However, if like, let's say it's, and I'm just going to pick someone, Juno Sweeney flying airplanes into the lumber mill every day,
Fuck yeah.
God.
that might be something that requires a bit heavier hand, and it will also allow lawyers the chance to argue, not just the crime, because the crime is pretty straightforward, right? If they get charged with it, they did it the 3 times in 30 days, it'll allow lawyers to target more so of how the punishment should work, which is generally more positive for everyone because there's less hinging on a binary result. And there's more ability for a lawyer to return a result for a client that's not just you win or you lose. Those
Yeah.
would be my thoughts. And I think that way we can implement what Mr. Deputy Mayor has suggested without us having to get bogged down in the language. Just make it as simple as possible and let the judges and the lawyers figure it out in the courtroom.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Do we want to fix it now so that we can pass it?
I can delete the specific language and then y'all can give it a look over and see what you think.
Yes, please.
Excellent. We'll wait for him to do that. How long do you think that's going to take you, Crane?
2 or 3 minutes. You can talk about whatever.
Okay. Well, we'll wait before we go on. Any exciting news from anyone?
There's a restock at Mosley's.
Max
Oh,
and Siobhan got married. Congrats.
Oh my
By
god!
Crane.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Hey, that's amazing.
Do they have maces in
shit.
stock?
It's a mace.
Mesa.
Mesa.
Oh, the
Mesa.
vehicle.
Those are cool. That's a good one.
I really want that.
They have a Premier, a Dominator, a Gauntlet, a Buffalo STX FQ2, a Rocotto, a Buffalo again, and a
Jesus.
Sultan, and Penumbra. And that's about it.
Okay.
Well,
Anyone need food
I
or
am-
water?
I don't need food or water, but you know
No,
what
I'm
I
good.
do
Alright.
need? I am
So-
officially accepting donations of money. Just putting it out there. Just officially accepting money donations.
For what?
Everything I have is in Ron. What for?
I want to buy a house.
Thanks, dog.
Oh, so do
That's
I.
nice. Me too.
Really?
I think everybody.
Like,
Wow.
Everyone here does.
Oh, it'd be
Yeah.
crazy if, like, I don't know, someone like Michael
What?
would also buy a house with me. You know, that'd be crazy, right, Michael?
That'd be crazy, but they don't
that'd
already
be
have a
crazy.
house.
Crazy.
You know.
Oh my
I'll think about it.
Yeah, my brother and I are going in on a house together. So
god.
Yeah,
I have
mi-
news.
mi-
I hit 50 stars in sanitation.
Good job.
Wow.
Crazy, right? Yep. Yep.
Toes is
yep.
begging for people to do it with. He called me in the yellow pages.
called
me
If
too,
you
fuck
ever need a
Toes.
new one? Yeah.
What if we got a secret government employee safe house?
oh my god.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, just for
Bundle?
us.
Sure. Fuck
Adam, do you want me to put that in the notes?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's expensive.
Wasn't that like my idea? Did
It
I
was
make
that was Juno's idea.
There is no way. No.
Do we
So,
anticipate needing that for some reason,
just
or
to-
Well, it might-
to give y'all a
I mean,
heads
look,
up,
when we
go.
start rejecting people for like businesses or whatever, for whatever reason, or other things, or laws
Female
that
attack
are,
us.
or like legislations that are directly against them, like the one that Michael just brought up, then yeah, we're gonna get fucking targeted tenfold. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean,
If you guys are ready to review, it's edited.
Okay.
I'd like to stop waking up at the apartments.
Yeah,
That's fair.
same.
Yeah,
I don't
feel
want to
that.
get yoinked
I
as I'm
sleep
walking
in the
downstairs.
hospital.
Just do what I do.
Yeah,
Wake up
it's
at your
terrible.
house.
It's not your fucking
God
house,
damn it,
bitch.
Kermie.
What the hell? What's
It's
your
not your
Uh,
name.
What the
what
hell?
I do, sleep with the cop and just.
Kermie, stop being a
literally
distraction.
escort
What?
everybody.
Okay, so
Wow.
essentially, action creates 2 applicable statutory punishments for violence against individual groups or businesses. Statutory punishments seek to curb rampant abuse. So, second degree, individual commits 3 separate acts of felonious violence against a civilian, individual, group, or business within a period of 30 days. They're subject to prosecution of the EGO Act. First degree targeted violence, if an individual commits 5 separate acts, blah, blah, blah. They will be held until trial while waiting prosecution of the EGO Act, and then punishments for these charges will be determined in court under argumentation by attorneys. There will be indiscriminate sentencing under the penal code.
I like
Yes.
that. Yeah,
Extremely
that's a good plan.
simple. It means that
good.
people know
Mhm.
not to fuck around and target the same person and resolve their
Yep.
differences. If they don't, what I will say, the only thing that is difficult here is we will be tasked, especially in the early days
I'm just guessing on that
of
one.
the city, with determining who is a civilian. And the
Right.
reason I say that is
Yes.
because there are many people who have been arrested for violent felonies or possession of PD equipment, PD handguns, who have been involved in various scenes, who right now are working civilian jobs and some even government jobs.
Mm.
So it will be hard at first for us to separate the difference between what is now the Ego Act and what eventually will be like gang-related shootings.
Right.
Yeah, I actually, so at least from if I'm corrected, I'd be happy to be, but many, many years ago, as far as I was aware, anyone who wasn't a law enforcement officer or an active military member was a civilian, and it didn't matter how many felonies they had on their record.
So, and what I will tell you is, this was what I wanted to do with the Rust Act. And one of the things that I joked about, I don't know if Malton was around for that discussion at the time, is that gangs were about to fuck around and find out. Because if two gangs, under the current wording of this law, get into a conflict, then 3 separate acts of felonious violence is going to stack up really quick.
Yeah, we talked about just doing Rust Act instead of gang-related shooting if we got sick of it.
Maybe we should.
Yeah.
I won't be mad about that.
What that means is, if we do this, and I'm just telling you guys now, what this means is that if Gang A and Gang B go against each other repeatedly, it means that by the 5th point of conflict, you might have, and I'm just going to throw out a random number here, 12 people all on hold.
Well, I mean, that's better than them being like, this is actually perfect. This is
Yeah.
honestly such a good fucking thing
Yeah,
because
maybe
at
they
least
could
they
actually
won't be.
resolve
Hang
their
on, hang on. At
differences
least they
then.
won't be on the. At least they won't be on the fucking streets, putting other
Yeah.
people at risk.
Listen. Hey, I'm all for it.
For it, yeah.
I'm just telling you
Yeah,
the
no,
kind of
they-
blowback to prepare for.
Yeah, they can go fuck themselves because the blowback that we'll receive is nothing in comparison to random civilians who are just going about their day, having their fucking day ruined.
Refuse to go back to the days where it's just constant gang on
Hey,
gang.
I sleep in the courthouse. All right, I'm just telling you, I protect my own neck. So
Yeah, no, I would, suggest that maybe 12 people who are shooting each other in the middle of the street 5 separate times might have larger things they need to reflect on than whether or not they're going away for a long period of time.
All right,
Also,
sounds good to me.
A lot of this stuff really needs to make people stop and think before they just result to violence. Like I refuse to let that happen. We haven't even been back here for 2 months. Like there's no way.
Can I share an idea which would be good in terms of this as well? After I'm assuming everyone's going to vote yay for this rather than nay. But Max, you know how you put up state announcements after the fact? I genuinely, I really, really, really want to push for a fucking press conference. I really want to push for one because there's other things as well that Nakoda I'd like to talk to you about specifically. Things that I've heard about PD, and I'd like to talk to Slacks about it as well, and have the PD have an opportunity to share their quote unquote side of the story of the things that have happened recently. That
Wait, what do you mean? Hear things about PD?
Yeah, what things?
So I spoke to a couple people in terms of the whole Murphy Braun stuff that happened, along with the Mr. Case situation as well.
I don't
and
even
it's
know about
definitely
that in
put a
character.
really sour taste
Holy
in people's
shit.
mouths about how the police department conducted themselves, and what reason they even had for being able to push both those things.
That sounds like we should go to Malton, right?
Yeah, that's a DOJ issue, no? Because
That's the head of the bar.
Yeah.
Oh no,
oversight board.
I was moreover thinking that like the press conference would be good for the police department to actually. So my whole thing, I want to avoid miscommunication. I want to avoid the lack of communication. And most importantly, what I want is the police department, at least someone, a recognized individual from the police department, to actually be present at a press conference and share important details like this. Because then at least, even though yeah, people will 100% nitpick everything the police department will say, but at least it'll be communicated. At least an effort is being made rather than, no, we don't want to talk to anyone about this. Because at that point the bridge is already burning. Why add more fuel to the fire? At least you can try and stagger it. If anything, at least you're attempting to communicate with the public, which is incredibly important in my opinion. Like people should be communicated to. So with the press conference, with us sharing the things that we've done, beyond just the state announcements, in which we can go into more detail and potentially answer questions that are selected by, let's say, Ursula from the crowd, then that's great. That's amazing. I'd love that. But then also having the police department then do a press conference shortly after that. And this isn't just for the police department. If there's something going on with the medical board, then that too, and that would be obviously be more of a future thing if anything does arise from the medical board.
As long as it's like a I don't want to say limited because, well, maybe restricted to just the press then, because like I'm not trying to have people
But
be
that's
lambasted by the public either. Like
well
the
then
town halls
at that
of old,
point
'cause
at that
that's
point we
just-
might as well just contact Ursula to write a report. I mean, yeah, sure, there's going to be situations in which people, no matter what, some people are going to fuck around, but they're going to find out. If they want to disrupt something, they're going to get arrested, because if the police department are there, then the majority of the police officers are also going to be there. Sorry, when I meant police department, if an officer is going to be there advocating on behalf of their officers, their colleagues, whatever, then the police department are going to be, they're going to be there. That's with any event. But if we went with that, Edda, we might as well just write something up and put it on Twitter, which I don't think is going to be as effective as a press conference in person. I don't think this is something
well,
that we should
a recorded press conference with, just press. I mean, that is still.
But I want people there. I want people to be able to be there and feel like they are being
All right,
communicated
so
to.
can we?
You know.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. I just want to understand this better. So are you inviting PD to talk to the public, or are you dictating? What's the?
I'd like to suggest that I can't obviously force anyone to do anything, but I think it's I would strongly advise that the police, at least one officer, be at a press conference to talk about the things that have recently happened, because it's all over on the streets. I'm hearing one perspective of it. I think it's important for the
Right.
public to hear
The
another
only
perspective.
concern I would have is, what if they're still in the midst of, let's say, like, for example, if I'm in the DOJ, I'm in the same boat sometimes, right?
Mhm.
Like, for example, the thing with Murphy. There are a ton of discussions and things happening right now within the DOJ related to Murphy's case that, while the public may feel a certain way, there's no way that I could in good faith engage with the public, because it would effectively malign what is being worked on. And so then I'd be put in a position where either I just say nothing and look like, an asshole, or I say we're doing the best we can, but I can't discuss it with you, which makes me look like even more of an asshole. I mean, it's
Then
kind of a
they
lose for
would-
the PD or the DOJ in that sense.
Then they would talk about the things that they can talk about. So, though they cannot talk about the Murphy case because it's been there's further talk about it within the DOJ, which is obviously private information. Then maybe talking about the Mr. K situation, something
What
along those
situation is
lines.
that?
In which so this is from his point of view, like he was found like with a weapon, and while he was incapacitated on the ground, he claimed that it had been planted on him, and then he was let go, and he was in the cells with a he was in the cells representing someone, I believe, and during that,
Is it like a legal aid?
yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
And then he got locked down. I mean, regardless, he was locked down there anyway. But all the doors around him got locked, and a warrant was pushed, knowing that he was there in the police department. And
So he walked into the police department with an active warrant?
no, he walked into a police department without a warrant, and then the warrant went active while he was present there. I'm sure there's more to this story, and
there absolutely
is.
1,000,000% is.
There is. I mean, look, as far as the topic at hand, if we as the council want to do a press conference after, I don't have an issue with that. But I mean, like, I've already talked to the captains about, their kind of street cred, shall we say. Like, there's nothing stopping them from doing a press conference on their own time if they so choose.
I think this is obviously coming from a place of care, because it is. I wouldn't say it's personal. However, there are obviously feelings since I used to be.
I
a
don't
police
feel like I
officer,
need to
though
take
we're in a completely
much
different
notes about this
situation
to be
now.
honest.
It still arises these feelings. So, if I on my own time, I want to talk to Captain Slacks, and hear things from his point of view. And Nakoda, Molten, if you'd like to be there, I'd like that to happen. I want to try and meet with him after this meeting.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk to you after, just so I can get a full purview of what's being referenced and what's being
Okay.
said, so I can clarify anything.
Yeah, I don't.
And-
I'm just gonna say bluntly, I don't think we should be leveraging press conferences based on rumors.
Yeah, it was like I said, my whole intention was more of a communication rather than anything else.
Yeah, that should
Communication
happen.
is
That should
key.
happen privately between people, so we can establish what the situation actually is. And then if a press conference needs to be held once there's mutual understanding, then that's more of a prepared statement, right? As opposed to just kind of, because effectively, if we were to hold a press conference and then invite the police to speak on some of these matters, if I was a civilian and I saw that, my perception would be that the city council called out the police department, and I think that's a pretty drastic step.
Okay, so then let's move on from that. How do you guys feel about a press conference after today's meeting? Not today specifically, but perhaps Tuesday, from us as the council.
I think press conference is a good idea.
Yeah.
I got
Cool.
super busy with some other things after
it
the
just
last
me, or
meeting.
does
In
it
the
sound like
future,
he's
what
trying to
has
do
been
Malton's job?
agreed upon is that
I mean, they're free to bring
DOJ
anything
announcements will go out
to the table.
on the government email server that will have all of the things that are voted on at each meeting and approved and put into legislation so that people know, as well as the state announcements. We now have the state announcements section in the MDT, so we can memorialize the announcement of the announcement.
Okay.
As far as Ego Act, just to make sure, were there any nayers on that one?
Negative.
I don't think so. After it was changed, it's
Nay,
good.
there were no nays.
Okay,
Nay,
I'll
there
put
were
that one
no
in
nays.
as well.
Ego, EGO.
Not a bad name, honestly.
Yeah, it's very good.
What's next?
Does anyone else have anything before I go present what I want to present?
Yes.
Please, Mr. Nakota.
If you will pull up report 1639, I have several changes to active charges within the MDT that I feel need to be updated. Okay, I will I'll get into the nitty-gritty of what I have to say at least. There have been now, let me double check my notes. 16 separate incidences in the last 30 days involving officers being stabbed, shot, and
You
robbed.
say 16 cases
in one
of
capacity or
people
another.
being shot, stabbed.
As I'm sure a lot of
robbed.
you are not surprised, a lot of these instances involve our firearms being robbed from us. Several people have been recovered with them. I think we've had 3 recovered in the last week. We had a 24-hour period where 4 separate officers were shot. In one of these instances, officers were responding to a call. They saw someone who was repairing a vehicle. They went to help that individual, and then they were open fired upon and then robbed of their firearms. People do not really seem to care about the active time and fine as far as either robbing us, shooting us, stealing our equipment, or getting caught with it, apparently. Because as Crane said, we've had people who have already multiple time offenders of PD firearms.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Obviously, there's kidnapping charges on there, which I also think are important and egregiously low for the charge. But I have increased what I believe needs to be upped as far as time and fine for some of those charges, because people seem to either not understand or don't care. And I, as someone who is out on the street every day and responding to these calls of people being stabbed, shot, and robbed who are already officers, I think they need to be increased.
I'm just gonna ask straight up because I mean Dakota, you know how this is gonna go. Are the police prepared to get shot and stabbed even more so over these charges, including getting these people into custody to begin with?
Yes.
I guess they got to do it anyway. So
We're already averaging
might as well
one
try to
shooting
dissuade
or
it.
robbing every other day.
I cannot fathom why act of torture right now is only $2,000 fucking dollars.
Because
I
it's related
Wasn't
to
it
every. Okay, hold
raised
on.
too?
It's proportional to everything else.
correct.
Okay.
So right now, for example, people make a certain income rate. So the charges were adjusted based around the economy.
Right.
The overall, right, where we ended, 5 years ago or so,
Mm.
those charges were across the board cut by about 40%. But for example, it is often important, and as a cop, I mean, I think you know this, when you arrest someone, it is not usually for one crime. So looking at it in a vacuum can be problematic. So for example, if there's kidnapping, assault with a deadly weapon, active torture, reckless evading when they're apprehended, resisting arrest, other illegal possessions, maybe joyriding, whatever, we start getting up there. And so we need to figure out, what's the appropriate amount, not only for each charge, but for like a scenario. So while I'm not averse to increasing crimes that are especially, popular is a bad word, but that's what I'm going to go with. In the moment,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're not just looking at things in a vacuum.
Yeah.
So, for example, right now, prison break is $2,400. Well, if active torture is 2,000, prison break might need to be like the way we scale things affects everything.
Yeah.
I
I
understand.
understand. Yeah.
So right now, disobeying a peace officer is 240. Obstruction of justice is 400. So it just it's thinking about things proportionally.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not weighing in exactly on one crime or another, or what's a good decision or bad decision. I'm just providing, I think, a way of thinking about it.
Are the individuals who you're catching with like this government equipment, is it still the like in the past where people would have their kits robbed? Like are you all getting raids off of this?
I believe there have been some raids conducted, but I haven't been at them, so I can't really speak to them in great depth.
You know if
but
those raids have been like successful in actually recovering stuff?
I do not know off the top of my head.
I'm fine with all these, dog.
I'm fine with all that. I'm curious, what's the reason for making evidence tampering? Who threw that in?
Yeah,
Like, what's the
what's that like?
thinking
I
behind
threw that in there, and
Okay.
because
Oh,
it is
okay.
if someone who is evidence tampering, like a lawyer, for example, or a cop, I think they should lose their fucking job because they're
Yeah, hard
jeopardizing the
agree.
Yes,
freedom
yes,
of
I
other
agree.
people.
Agreed.
It actually
100%
should have been
agree.
a felony. I don't know why it's not. That's an oversight.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I think
I didn't
that
look at that one,
I
Mr.
think
Mayor.
it was a felony in the past. It may have even been an indiscriminate sentencing felony. So I think something got lost in translation with the new MDT.
Yeah, and this
Mhm.
this will you know how what was the Brady shit? Okay, we don't need Brady shit. We just need to make evidence tampering a felony.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's
Yeah.
good enough.
All right.
Okay,
In
I'll
ca-
change that
yeah.
right now.
In
Yeah.
case anyone's also curious, in the last 15 minutes, we've had 3 more officers go down while we've been in here.
That's
So
Now
insane.
were they robbed when they went down?
I cannot speak to that. I can only speak to that they went down.
The only
Okay.
thing I'm going to say, Dakota, and I know this isn't the response you're looking for, but I would submit to you that given that there is no other way of acquiring a firearm in the city right now, that I could make this charge 10 years and $1 million and people would still do it. So
Well,
at
do it,
some
Doc.
point, I'm just saying at some point, we need to think about, are we actually deterring behavior? What are we, what's the effect?
Yeah, I 100% get what you're saying. I would like to see someone with the charge as I've suggested it, get charged, and then see what happens from there. I know that not necessarily, it's not everyone's gonna be deterred from doing things like that, but I
But
think
it's gonna
that
make a lot more stop and
It's
think
Mhm.
twice
Yeah.
before they do it.
it's gonna set. So nonetheless, people. The thing is that people at the end of the day want to get their hands on the guns, and that's the only
Right.
way so far is to go through PD. Having it higher fine is gonna set them back more, and it might, make them think twice, or some of them at least. But some people will always go for it, even if it's 50, 100 grand, whatever. They will still do it.
Well, then they better be
Because-
Still
prepared
down to fuck
tank
them
the
for it.
fine.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
but that's the
yeah.
thing. Gun will always beat knife, and that's the mentality they have. Is that they have the highest form of,
Mhm.
any sort
Yeah.
of a weapon, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it.
It puts you in a very advantageous position. If you
Yes.
Yeah, and
fire
I'm
them, I
just
agree.
gonna say right now, without getting too deep into things, my personal beliefs that I don't think there's any issue with the way the laws and the charges and the precedents have worked. I think it's extremely unfortunate that Murphy Braun suffered amnesia after being shot and was drinking the night before, and that's a catastrophic set of circumstances.
Yeah.
But I do think that in general, possession of those government issued firearms needs to be a strict liability crime. Otherwise, there's no teeth to the law and it's impossible to enforce.
Exactly.
Okay, so anybody against any of these?
Nope.
Not at all.
All right, so
Yeah.
approved.
Fuck yeah.
We just do 1 year and 100K. We're gonna do
Absolutely.
60. We might as well just in
Yes.
for a penny, in for a pound,
yeah,
right?
that's
Sure.
the one I think should be the highest here.
People
If
like
we're
big
going that
numbers.
one, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, dog.
All right, sounds good.
The possession of the government weapon. A year and 100,000.
What do you think about giving people like Kermit here access to see the stuff, Crane?
I don't agree with that. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. I don't even want the temptation. Well, it's not that I won't do anything, but I don't even want the temptation of being able to see shit.
Okay, well, counterpoint.
want it.
Counterpoint. You are hearing everything that is being written right now,
Yeah.
so you are already a liability by that definition.
Damn
I don't
it.
even know what charges you guys are talking about.
I
Fuck.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
God.
true. Yeah.
look, I don't have a problem because I think I trust the people that Alex hires as clerks.
Mhm.
So if they are officially employed with the government, then I don't have a problem with them seeing it.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
this will help
Yeah.
note keeping a lot.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I have my own role on the NVT?
No, it's just
Bitch,
going to be
no.
clerk.
Oh,
Thank-
it's
thank
a
you,
clerk
Alex.
thing. Oh, okay. I thought. All right.
Alex has her own role though, because
But
she's
yeah,
the
thank you.
head. She's the chief clerk.
Well, he said Kermit, so I didn't know we were talking about every clerk. That was just me.
Well, both of you are clerks, so
So it works out.
okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
I agree, Mr. Mayor. I think that's a good idea.
Sick.
Anybody disagree with that?
No, that's fine.
Nope. It's a government employee, right?
Exactly. Yep.
I
Everyone's there
would
helping,
not
so
I
it's
would not
okay.
extend that to let's walk that back a second.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be.
I would
every
not
government
extend that
employee.
to EMS doctors or PD.
No, that's fine. Yeah, they.
I
they don't
mean
need
government
to see
employee in
everything.
terms of on the legislative or administrative side of things,
Yeah, of course.
because those are the people that'll be involved with this shit anyway.
Right.
If I may add, this is strictly for the notes. If somebody is charged with possessing a PD gun, it's the year and 100K. I get that. Is it more so like there's no arguing it, or can they still argue like any other charge?
You would need to provide someone, and I'm gonna say this pretty plainly. I don't think if you get to court possessing a PD gun as your charge, you would have to provide an affirmative defense whereby you could prove or argue beyond a reasonable doubt that it was how do I phrase this? Maybe not
was-
beyond a reasonable
it
doubt.
was
Maybe there
forcibly
being. I
placed
mean,
on
in
your
my mind,
person.
there would need to be a preponderance that your affirmative defense carries more weight than the null hypothesis, right? Which is you just had it. Okay. And the only way to do that would be to provide alibi evidence or corroborating witness statements that could prove or lean towards proving that it was planted on you, things like that. In my mind, the discretionary portion of this charge comes down to the PD. So if the PD stumble upon, someone sprawled out on the ground who is otherwise not involved in conflict in any way or whatever, then that's their discretion to charge someone or not. But as I said before, if the judiciary starts trying to get into this habit of adjudicating the idea of the charge outside of evidence to the contrary, then it's a lot of guesswork.
Yeah.
And I don't think it serves the city, because then the deterrent has no teeth, because anyone can just, throw their hands up.
Guess who lost track like fucking 15 minutes ago when they all agreed yes? They all agreed yes, and now I'm like,
Okay, so I'll put those in. What else we got?
Oh, my last one, and I don't know if this is. I potentially thought I heard this was in the works, but do we want to make a hard ruling on how many points results in a suspended license?
I heard it was 20.
Yeah, it's always been 20.
I don't believe it's like actually on the books
Yeah,
though.
it's not listed anywhere though.
So a DUI is
I've heard
20
people talk
points.
about that, where-
Yeah, DUI is 20 points and an automatic suspension. So I figured 20 was the appropriate number.
Is there a hard programmed timer for points to fall off?
Yes.
20 is fine.
It was like every 30 days, right? Or 21 days or something like that.
The
So
clock
I-
runs from each incident.
I've I guess this is a question for more. When the points fall off, if they fall below 20, will it automatically reinstate their license, or
There is okay, so we do not remove people's driver's licenses formally from their profile. The reason being is that then if their points fall off and they should have a reinstated driver's license, they are then, needing to basically get a clerk or a judge to reinstate it. And then there's often arguments between them and police about, well, the points fell off, I just couldn't find a judge, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So the agreement we made with PD is that we don't formally remove licenses. We just put a note on someone's profile that it's suspended per 20 points. And then that note should be removed when it falls below 20 points.
So is the onus on the person to make sure that it's removed once the points fall off, or?
Well, I mean, I would hope that an officer could look at someone's profile, see they have less than 20 points, and say, oh, you're good, and remove the note.
Yeah.
This topic's not
Do we
going.
need? Is there? So that's not written anywhere.
Yeah, no.
No.
Okay, we could put that somewhere.
Do we
Piece of
want
legislation.
to? If anyone's over 20 right now, which I don't know if anyone actually is, are we going to retroactively, like, the next time that person gets pulled over, they're made aware that they're over 20, or are they grandfathered into this in some capacity? I don't even know.
The next instance, they should be notified. Like, okay, this is it.
they get a freebie, and can the police like track that like via their profile or something like that?
Like they were notified on this day, blah blah blah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. I think that's fine. I just wanted to put it out there for a discussion, so I'm not just, ripping people out of their vehicles.
Kermie and Alex, if you reset your MDTs, tell me if you can see the city council documents. They're under reports, and you'll need to use the cogwheel to do like an advanced search and then sort by category. Anybody else got anything before we move to the density?
Not this time, no.
See the
Wasn't
titles,
there?
can't see them.
There's
Sorry.
one thing
You
is
can see the titles, but you can't see them.
Yeah, I can see the title, but I can't see the actual body of the report itself.
Yes, you have to take. No, he has to take a nap. They both have to take a nap for that.
Son
Yeah,
of
I
a
had that
bitch.
yesterday.
I'll
So-
test it, BRB.
Okay. Mask mandate. I'm not gonna bring it up again, but it is on the rise. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna share a picture with y'all.
Yes, please,
Oh,
because I
yeah?
think we might be saying the same thing.
Hold on.
Just swat it out, Crane.
Let me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go to a document here. I will create a city council document.
Hmm. Hmm. Should I just take a nap too then? I'm gonna go take a nap. I want to see the picture. Okay. Okay. Nice.
Obviously, I mean that's their choice, right? But any business that's in the app or any government facility, no mask mandate.
Can we make sure that this applies to employees of state-run businesses as well, that they cannot be wearing masks? So, for example, someone needs to get the door for Alex. So for example, if someone's working senior buns, that's the state-run business. You, as an employee, you shouldn't be wearing a mask either.
Are we gonna bring up medical exceptions already, or is that okay? Okay, I'm just asking.
I'm assuming the mask mandate talk isn't going well. Yeah, we still can't see it, by the way. It was fucking pointless. It was pointless, Kermie. It was pointless.
Oh.
It was all pointless, Kermie. We still can't see them.
Blue for so long.
Uh-huh.
These old people making us go to sleep and take our naps. Son of
Yeah,
a
and
bitch.
it didn't even work. Didn't even work out.
Ridiculous.
So, I guess, are we agreeing on state-run businesses and government facilities?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Agreed.
Okay, and then my second question is, if a cop walks up to him, take the mask off, they take the mask off, it ends there, or do I have the right to go through the full, like, hey, you got to show me your ID even if the mask comes off?
I
Like,
would
is it-
prefer they give ID so you can actually verify via photo if it's on, you know, can ID. I mean, if someone tells me there's,
I don't think we should create an ID statute.
Yeah,
Personally,
see, I'm against that part because the purpose of this is to have people not wear masks in
the purpose is
public.
just take your damn mask off. But we're
Yeah.
not
Okay.
giving cops any rights to ID. It's not a crime. We're not giving someone rights to
No,
ID
Spaz,
someone
thank
or
you for
frisk them.
the
It's
20
literally
months.
just, hey, stupid, take your mask off, which is what coincidentally I yell at people in courtrooms all the time.
But
Okay,
then what
so
do you
it
do
works
about the
pretty
face
well.
paint?
Call their parents degenerates and say that, you know, they're subhuman. I don't know.
You look fucking dumb. Yeah.
Fair.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Okay.
shame them.
So just to clarify, it's remove the mask and you're not putting it back on, not remove the mask, ID yourself, then put it back
And
on.
if they take it off and they don't put it back on, or they take it off and they put it back on, then just cite them for disobeying and arrest them.
Understood.
Or if they don't take it off, disobeying.
You can
Easy.
enforce laws without needing a penal code entry. So you enforce the legislation that says no masks in, you know, public state-run areas, and if they disobey, then they disobey.
Easy.
I just want to be sure because I missed it. No mask mandate. Just they can lawfully order people to take them off. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down right. I'm gonna do that one right now.
Okay. Also, Karina didn't work. Still can't see the report.
Yeah, we just can't view them.
Try and close the tab and then open a new one.
Hold on, it might be permissions thing. Give me a second.
Yeah, it's a viewing permission, I think.
Hold on. Oh, it didn't sync. Okay. Somehow it. Okay, hold on. Try now. Just reset it.
Nope.
Did anything else break? Can you still see legislation?
Yeah, I can still see everything else. I just can't see the body of the report.
I mean, we can just figure it out later.
Hey, fuck with it after.
I'm not taking another nap, dude. Some of the debate on that.
Try now.
Uh,
Reset. That's my last try. If that doesn't work, then I'll figure it out later.
Yep, that worked.
Nope. Oh, it did work, but I can see evidence now.
What do you mean see evidence?
I have an evidence tab now.
Yeah, we'll get back to that
No,
later.
you don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what's happening. No, I don't.
But yeah, we can see him now.
Yeah, I can see police like incident report evidence.
Reset. See if the evidence going away means you can't see the reports.
Nope, I can see the report and the evidence tab went away, so I'm good.
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, Mr. Density, you're up.
No one else?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Okay. Have any of you guys had a chance to read over any of the stuff that I published last night?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to start with the Los Santos Bill of Rights equivalent, the Bill of Human Privilege, which covers some basic stuff.
Do I get to vote on this?
Of course you do. Why wouldn't you?
Because it doesn't apply to me.
Oh, something
sure?
changed, it looks like.
Oh, has it been edited live here in the meeting?
What do you mean?
Yeah, nice shade there, bud.
Hi, Tiny
gonna
Witch.
tell Tessa on you.
What do you mean? So does anyone because we've had a chance to read it, is there, so I work, full disclosure, I worked on this with Juno and my wife. And my wife primarily served as a reviewer. Juno served as a suggester. This is what we came up with. Obviously, there's some things that might be missing. So if you guys have any ideas on what we could add here, first let's go over what we have already. Any issues with anything that's written in these 14 points?
My
Let's see.
preference is I'm actually okay with the jaywalking stuff, but I don't
have
think-
one thing with it, but go ahead.
I don't think anyone should be held liable. If you are
Yeah.
jaywalking and
Yes.
get clipped on the freeway, you like that is you being a done. No one should be held liable if you hit them while they're jaywalking.
We should be able to charge
Well,
you
it-
for
it-
jaywalking.
Well, it's written there that you can't sue a
The
cop
only-
or EMS.
The only
no, I'm
problem-
saying
Everybody.
civilian. If I fucking hit someone jaywalk, that's on them, man.
Oh,
Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They should
Probable
be
cause is
jaywalking.
required by this law enforcement.
Yeah,
Los
but
Santos
the point is that
seizure.
if we make it indiscriminate,
Probable cause. is
then there
defined
is no
as
such
probable
thing
cause
as
supported by
not
facts and evidence.
jaywalking.
A crime. Okay.
Correct.
So, for example, if I get hit in a crosswalk with the proper light, under this,
You can't hold anybody responsible.
yeah. And I will
So-
say, in this city, as I learned today, it is exceptionally hard to figure out who's in the right because, for example, I crossed the street going northbound on the eastern side of the intersection of Vespucci and Alta,
Mm-hmm.
and a cop pulled me over for jaywalking. And I said I wasn't jaywalking. I had the little white, walk signal thingy. And then we both realized that there is a crossing signal with the little red hand and the white man walking, but there is no crossing lines or crosswalk painted on the ground.
There are multiple intersections that are like that. I walk to work every day, so. Yeah.
So I don't know how to handle shit like that. She ended up just letting me go because I had the signal and I proved that there was a walking indicator, but Yeah, it's kind of fucked.
So as written now, what do you guys think? Dakota, you had something?
So yeah, the only thing I would say is, and it seems like it's on point with everybody else's concern, is even without lights and
Free
sirens, like if I'm
healthcare.
driving 55 and I have a green light and someone runs across the street because there's no more jaywalking and I hit them, that is, I would
Freedom
argue,
of
not my fault
speech.
or anyone else's but their own, the person who ran across.
Within the right to publicly urinate, given the lack of bathrooms.
Basically, we just
citywide.
be doing it like China does it, right? It's kind of like the more expensive your car, the more right away you have.
Honestly, like I said, I walk to work every single day. I even got clipped today crossing a crosswalk. But the people stopped and checked on me. I mean, it's whatever. But I know that there's also been a lot of people who want to try and be funny and throw themselves out in front of people's vehicles. So everybody's looking for some way to cash grab these days. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you want to say it, but
Okay, well, how about we do it? They may walk wherever they please at their own risk.
yeah,
just kind of leave it open ended.
Why don't we just say, why don't we say that we are decriminalizing jaywalking. However, if someone is crossing a street in a manner that would be previously defined as jaywalking, they do so at their own risk. So that way, if a citizen still adheres to the crosswalks and the walking signals, they can still sue someone for running them over. But if they choose to ignore the walking signals,
Kirby,
who's
What is
jaying
the
this?
J? Who's
Yeah,
J?
who's
Yeah,
jaying?
Doing that?
Crane, I think
It
you were
was
pushing down
me.
on the
Yes,
pad a little
I
too
What are you
know.
hard.
yelling at me
Yeah.
for?
So
oh, sorry, I saw your
That's
thing.
so
funny, you're the
if
lame Carmi.
so that way, if like for example, I'm walking legally in the crosswalk and someone runs me over because I walk a lot, then I can
Reserve
still,
the
you
right
know,
to
they can
form
still
an
be
organized
charged for like, let's say,
militia.
negligent driving or something. But people can jaywalk at their own risk, right? Does that make sense?
Jaywalking is decriminalized. Jaywalk at your own risk.
Holy
What is the new
shit.
gateway to terrorism then?
That's a good question.
Smoking a joint.
Littering.
Prostitution.
Littering.
Prostitution's a
Prostitution?
very-
I feel like that's
not many
bit
people have
extreme.
that one. There's a lot of terrorists that have never done that.
How does that look, Crane?
That's good.
You like
Still
to
is capitalized. You have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning new writing stuff every day. Okay. How does that look, Dakota?
Jaywalking at your own risk, I love that.
Okay. Can we go ahead and remove? Actually, hold on.
I like that, to be honest. Yeah.
Can we remove the charge from the MDT? Is that possible, Crane?
I can, do so.
Nice. So, in accordance with Crane's vision of sort of crafting a government body / judicial body, I and everyone else was advised to kind of not just copy and paste shit from the American history, right? Because it doesn't pertain to us per se. That said, I did include some things from that just make
doesn't
complete
pertain
fucking
to us
sense
per
from
se.
American legislation, like the definition of probable cause, which I know the police department is still
why do
utilizing now.
we need that?
Yeah, isn't that? I was going to ask. That's Article 5 from our Constitution, search and seizure. So we already have it in there as a protected right.
Okay, hold on.
Which is good. That means you're right in line with, with Crane.
Oh, nice. I missed that. Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna renumber these then.
Okay.
Okay, so one we're just eating.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make the jaywalking one number 1, and I'm gonna rename them, number them.
I believe that jaywalking one now rightly sits at number 1 on this list. I feel like that's just setting the tone for the rest.
Do you want me
Okay,
to
good.
do you want me to just number them?
Sure.
All right, so
So I'm gonna delete the first one.
What Cantor, what are the hospitals and medical facilities under LSMG currently? Or-
We only function out of Central and Sandy. That's the
So
only
is
real
the one
official
that's like up
been
in
not
Polito, is that like
streaming really this week
closed
I
down?
because
believe
fucking
that's all closed down. I don't know if I don't know what's going on up there. I'll
machinery
be honest.
outside.
As far as I'm aware, it's not something that
Alright,
we
all good.
have access to use currently.
How does number 2 look, guys? Any concerns or additions you'd like to add?
I'm fine with that.
That's what
So
we
it'd
talked
be like
about
my
last
first
time.
I
5
like it.
hours of my
Yeah.
stream, I'd be
Okay.
like
Yeah, is that
hearing
just?
only.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little distracted. Is that just the
Don't want
hospital
to deal with that.
functioning as is? Is that?
Yeah.
The,
Okay.
we're
Pretty much,
basically
yeah.
just publicly stating
Just
the
writing it
free
down. Mhm.
free healthcare
Doesn't
will be enforced for now.
Does it, still,
I
does it
haven't.
charge you $50 if you see
Does-
Kate?
Yeah, does Kate charge
No.
now?
No,
Okay.
I don't believe
Oh.
so.
Okay,
No,
easy.
she doesn't.
She can also actually help you up now, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
No, apparently they're doing sewer maintenance
so,
for like the
that.
last week or
Two's
something like
good.
that.
like
number-
Three. God damn it!
Who keeps Jane praying, you old man?
you can control Z to refix the spacing on that, by the way.
So, only question I would have about 3 is that we do have, I think we have a charge, which is kind of similar to what is in other states, which is kind of like a fighting words charge.
Mm-hmm.
I forget which one it is. Hold on,
Is
it's
it criminal
It's
threats?
the
or-
criminal threat.
no, not criminal threats.
another
It's
one?
hold on, public order, disturbing the peace.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, unlawfully fighting or challenging another person to fight in a public place, disturbing another person by loud and unreasonable noise if this is done willfully and maliciously, and then finally, using offensive words in a public place if the words are likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction.
So who's gonna follow Bobby Charles around and just keep citing him for disturbing the peace?
Maybe we just put a
Sorry.
GoPro on him.
Yeah, pretty much. Just keep billing him every time he does it.
Now, I will say that the reason for that charge in other jurisdictions is pretty clear. Whereas I would imagine that if someone were to do something like that here, they would just get deported. So maybe we don't need that portion of the charge.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
true.
fair. Honestly, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Wait, what about the portion? Deporting?
Deportation. Deportation sounds like a hybrid with another word.
No, no, that's why. I'm sorry.
Hey, you want to introduce the legislation? Go for it,
Words are
Juno.
hard.
No.
It's just going to be
Skip.
unpopular. I'm
Skip.
just saying right now.
No.
Yep.
As written, is there any problem on number 3?
All right, fine. I mean, are we saying though that I guess like what Crane said, like you can't make like terroristic threats or anything. We're not classifying that as like freedom of speech.
Yeah, right.
So I kind of wanted to leave it for the courts if there ever was a freedom of speech case or whatever, they could
Like courts
They
could
could-
limit it a little bit or something.
Well,
Correct.
I mean, to be fair, this is kind of like this is kind of how it works in other places, right? You have a broad, and this is God. I don't want to start this debate, so no one respond to this, please. I'm just using it as an example. But you have, let's say, in the U.S., the Second Amendment, which allows you to bear arms, and then the government, sets conditions upon that right that are deemed reasonable without infringing upon the core nature of the right. So same idea with freedom of speech is you're entitled to freedom of speech until that conflicts with another person's right, for example, to not be, discriminated against, etc.
And that's the Ninth Amendment for the American Bill of Rights is the no right shall infringe upon another one.
Yeah. So I think we're fine to leave that as is because the courts can just handle any overlap.
So
Yeah.
don't bring up social media posts.
I kind of went one of two ways with this when we were working on this last night, and ultimately we decided to allow the Department of Justice enough freedom to maneuver however it is they please. And I feel like
yeah.
that's the way that we define a unique identity for Los Santos
Yeah.
in terms of courts and shit. My instinct initially was to define like social media stuff and whatnot, but I was like, maybe we do it this way instead.
Yeah,
it could
Just
just be like a case
let it
law or
ride, see
something
what
in the
happens.
future. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with
Yeah.
the dust settling in the courtroom, honestly, on some of these things. So it gives a much clearer and concise definition, I guess, in the long term.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rain, can I ask a question for the notes? Does that mean that we can't use rap lyrics as evidence anymore?
Wait, what?
Kermie, if you want to say it, you have my permission.
I want to say what?
Is
it?
It?
Hold up.
You got the
Wait
clean
a
pass.
second.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hold up.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you don't, because you're a
Mhm.
fucking
No.
Oh, poor
square.
Kermie.
That's okay.
What?
Wow.
Why are you being like this?
Number
Just
4.
think about it more. I'm sure you'll get there.
Number 4, every citizen within Los Angeles are within the right to publicly urinate. Given the lack of bathrooms citywide, an effort must be made to do so in relative privacy. Any concerns with that?
What is an effort to must be made?
It needs to be flushed out because
I
nice
walked
pun. That was
past
a good
somebody
pun.
peeing
I
in a
know.
potted plant in the hospital lobby.
Reed is gonna get on the counter of Senor Buns and he's gonna be like, "This is as private as I can get," and then he's gonna piss on somebody.
Well,
Yeah,
hold
on.
He didn't make an effort though. He just kind
Hold
of walked
on.
around the counter.
I mean, this is definitely going to conflict with public indecency, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Being able to
there's
pull your cock.
there is already
Well,
established
anywhere is
there's already
considered
established
good.
there's already established precedent on public indecency with the Vivek Ramaswamy case where they were talking about doing sex acts in public and no
Oh
one
my
batted
God.
an eye.
Well,
Well, hold on. Not commenting on something is not the same as endorsing it or judicially.
Yeah.
I don't.
Courts
you
all
know,
the time will refrain from giving guidance on a certain topic because they don't feel it's their purview, even though it may be handled by a future court.
Not that I spend a lot of time looking at the public indecency charge, but I believe that has a very specific definition. And technically speaking, pulling your pants down to urinate wouldn't fall under it.
Yeah, because doesn't it say something about fondling or something?
Yeah, it says
you have to
lewd caress
yeah.
Oh
or
my
indecent
gosh.
fondling of the body.
If you pull your pants down and then pull them up, that's not public indecency as far as it's written.
And it could be argued that warning people like, hey, this is as private as I can be is effort.
Yeah.
What about is there some kind of charge?
We can leave. I mean, if it ever becomes an issue in the courts,
I just want to make sure cops have an ability to charge someone who like pisses in Senor Buns or whatever.
Yeah, right now I don't think we have anything.
We don't.
Because like I said, I literally walked past a doctor peeing in a potted plant in the lobby at the hospital yesterday. So
vandalism, I guess, is pee damaging. I don't know.
I used to argue maybe like littering, like sometimes. But...
Disorderly conduct engages in behavior intending to cause public inconvenience. They could just argue they didn't intend public.
I was just gonna say that I was just trying to go to the bathroom. I wasn't trying to inconvenience anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you like hide in a bush that covers you from like the chest down, like at least you're making the effort.
Yeah. See, I kind of wanted to have a fun little throw a little bone to the DOJ if they ever got like a quirky little case where some guy like Reed, for example, was like, oh, I walked 5 steps. Clearly, an effort was made. That's
exactly what he'll do. Too.
Yeah, sounds good.
We hold on. Where is it? I lost it. Okay, right here. I'm going to add another word here.
Okay.
Reasonable effort.
Ooh,
Boom.
I like that word.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
I feel like I forgot
This would
to
be a
do something
crazy
like that.
court case.
I'm definitely I'm gonna end up being the first person at a bench trial for someone pissing in public. So I'll make sure to call you down there when it happens.
There you go.
Okay. So number 5. All citizens of Los Angeles are entitled to free housing afforded by the state. I gotta re-edit this. Hold on. At present, this only applies to the apartments currently located in Little Seoul, that this may be expanded later. Comments, concerns?
Seems straightforward.
Yep.
Fine with it.
And this is another inspiration drawn from other systems that just makes complete fucking sense. And that I'm sure that police officers would probably follow anyway. And that's no double jeopardy. It was worded slightly differently. Simply just
Yeah, I'm already thinking about prosecuted versus.
what do you think a better word here would be for?
Well,
this?
because technically you can be prosecuted but not adjudicated. So, for example, you could prosecute someone for murder, there could be a mistrial, and then you would need to retry the case. And the way this was worded, that would bar that.
So I'm trying. I'm trying to present double
Yeah,
jeopardy.
I
So what do you
know
think a better word
it's
would be?
it's very hard to do it without just taking words.
Do you think adjudicated would be enough?
No, because then that prevents appeals.
Okay.
Fuck.
While he's thinking about that, I'm sure there would be some cops who did this, but should we change the word crime to like criminal incident? Because I mean, like I'm just like, let's say,
DOJ documents
you know, you
too.
charge someone for attempted murder, they get found not guilty, but you're like, okay, well, fuck you, I'm gonna charge you with assault with the deadly instead. You know, it's technically a different crime.
But isn't it under the
s-
same crime though? Like it's the same incident.
That's why I said it's
That's
like
why he's saying change it
it's
before
changed it
Oh.
to same criminal incident. Yeah, because when
Right,
I
my
think
bad.
crime, I think like charge, right?
At that point, it could once again be a DOJ thing where they can use that opportunity to truly define what it means to not double jeopardy someone in Los Santos, right? But Crane's writing something. I'm kind of interested what he's cooking right now. So let's see.
Yeah, I don't even know if this would be possible, but would that mean that if someone was charged with one crime in an instance, if it was found later that maybe necessarily they weren't the murderer, but they were an accomplice to the murder, would they be unable to be charged with that crime in that instance?
These are questions that the judges will have to answer.
All right, we'll kick it then. That's fine. I'm just spitballing too. It's like the things that
Yeah,
just come in my
yeah.
head straight away.
Yeah. That's like the natural instinct.
Ooh, I get to watch them
when
edit it in
comes to
real
stuff like
time,
this. So I
dude.
totally get it. I appreciate it because we need that kind of insight.
Look at that wordage, dog.
Looking good to me.
Yeah,
All right now.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm trying to work through is I'm just trying to check for holes. So if I prosecute Malton for murder, then he's been adjudicated at trial. There was a conclusive verdict. He's found innocent. He may not be placed under threat of imprisonment by the state prosecution for the same criminal incident. Okay, but let's say Malton is found guilty and he appeals. He is not being placed under threat of imprisonment by the state prosecution because he, as the moving party, is not the state prosecution. So that would allow for appeals. It would allow for normal prosecution. Mistrials are not conclusive verdicts.
What is the thing?
Yeah, I like it.
Delayed death exception. That would be.
So that would be an
a
exception
separate-
to this policy, which we would need to write in right now.
Because I mean that in essence would be a new incident, right? No, I guess you would need to write it in because it could be argued that it would be a result of the same incident. So.
Forgot how to spell Jeopardy. Geoparty.
So that exception is something we've honored in the past. And basically, if I bonk Max over the head with a pipe wrench, and he lives, but he goes into a coma, and I get charged and convicted of, let's say, reckless endangerment or attempted murder or whatever, and then he actually does die, the state can then prosecute me for first-degree murder.
All right, perfect.
Is this suitable to the head of the bar and the Chief Justice?
Yep.
Works for me.
Okay. Sick. Number 7. Any citizen of Los Santos has the right to record video and audio from the public view.
Now, does that also cover recording like from the street into someone's home?
Well, the idea here is that they could just pull their curtains if they don't want to be recorded.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I like it.
Should we classify this as a two-party state at the same time?
I like
Do we
zero
want to be
party.
a two-party state?
I like zero party. What do you think?
I kind of
I like
I
zero
kind of
party.
agree to zero
as
party.
as
to be
someone
honest.
I don't know what that means.
We
What do you think?
once
Yeah.
again with the Ramaswamy case, they kind of upheld zero party by way of allowing that into evidence, right? The recording of him by Mr. K filming the whole Lilith interaction with Bobby Charles.
Were they in a public place?
Yeah, they were at
Chumash
Chumash,
beer.
right?
Yeah, okay, that's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about if Max and I have a phone call. A one-party state is where only one person on the call has to consent. So I can record Max without telling him in a one-party state. In a two-party state, both people have to be aware of the recording. So I'm suggesting that if we're handling legislation surrounding recording video and audio in public, we also should handle how it's going to happen in private.
Okay.
Okay.
If I may, wouldn't that, if you make it a zero party state, wouldn't that give cops more leeway to be able to
is
essentially tap your
true.
phones without a search warrant?
Would
Because
it?
they don't need your permission for, they don't need anybody's permission for it to record you at that point.
I think they were referencing two people talking to each other physically in public. If I'm not
The
unless
first
I'm
part
misreading it.
is no, you're right.
Yeah.
But as far as private is concerned, that's a good point, Kermie. What do you think should be written here, Crane, in terms of private stuff? Because I agree. You can
I am not a fan of one-party states. I think that a one-party state often leads to very complicated situations for the DOJ, because then, for example, you would have a conversation with someone in which you discuss a bunch of context and you assure them of certain things and make promises and rely on your history and all this, and then you would start the recording and be like, so you're gonna murder this bitch with me, right? And the person goes, yeah. And then the judge gets up there and just hears, so you're gonna murder this bitch with me, right? Yeah. It's like I would prefer that if recordings are going to be made of private conversations, it would be structured in a way where both parties need to be aware of it, because otherwise there's way too much opportunity for malfeasance.
Okay. Can you put that in there at the end for 7? I mean, provided everyone here agrees that is reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'll also say that it's very cumbersome in this jurisdiction to deal with recordings in court. And most of the time I would prefer they be in public. Private recordings are absent two people agreeing. For example, and again, we'd have to write this as an exception. The only time where you can be recorded but not agree, well, actually, you don't have to agree. You just have to be informed. Sorry, I should make that clear. It's not about agreement. It's about information. You have to know that you're being recorded. So, for example, if you're in an interrogation room in PD, they have to tell you that you're there turning on a recording. That sort of thing.
Mhm.
CIs can't wear a wire. Essentially, we're not doing that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll write up some language around. Give me a sec.
Hmm. Jesus wants to meet about something. I don't know what.
I think that should cover it. So that'll just be very clear.
All right, sick. Looks good. Number 8. And we're gonna take a break after this, guys. A little 5-minute break after we get through.
Yeah, please God,
this
I need
one.
a cigarette.
Sounds good.
Well, I need to go to the bathroom, but yeah.
Um,
Actually, can I pee right here now if I make an effort in the corner?
nope, that's not a reasonable
Oh,
effort.
that's
We
Kidding.
also
Well,
have
Well, the
Kidding.
doors,
we
the
haven't
doors,
passed this yet.
doors is locked, so it's a reasonable enough effort, right?
I guess
Uh,
so.
Has been passed yet.
I'll use the restroom.
Yeah, just block
Right,
yourself
you're
with
using
Kermit's
it
bike.
right now.
No. I can wait until this last
Okay.
one. So we
Just
go
find
both together.
the legal book on the wall that says tax code and piss in that because it's never going to exist anyway.
Understood.
The people of Los Santos are permitted the ability to assemble peacefully in protest or otherwise, provided it is not disruptive to the city on large. Government officials and the citizens of Los Santos reserve the right to drive their vehicle through crowds of disruptive protesters/assemblers, provided they are impeding the flow of traffic.
Oh my God! What the
I
hell?
feel like
Oh
that
my
can get
God.
abused.
So hey, I'm actually okay with this in a general sense. If they warn them that like, hey, if you don't move, I'm going to do this, and they have to dial 911 once the deed is done.
Hasn't this happened somewhere?
I'm pretty sure it happened when they marched on City
Wasn't that the
Hall.
thing with the tiki torches?
Hmm.
Not familiar with that.
Okay, so I added and have issued a suitable warning to the disruptive protesters/assemblers.
I also feel they should have to dial 911 after they do it. Just saying like,
That's
hey, I just
fair.
ran I
Mhm.
just ran over a bunch of people. By
Isn't-
the way,
yeah.
like they might
Isn't
need
that
medical.
with felony run you have to stop and identify yourself and stuff? Felony hit and run. Is that
Well, I
like
was
is
gonna-
the expectation here that
I was going to ask, is there a possibility that number 1 could conflict with this in any way, shape, or form?
They're not jaywalking anymore if they're in the street, right? They're protesting
They're
at this.
blocking the street and protest. I mean, I saw. So I actually I saw it the other day. Like people were. You might have been there actually, Max. They were trying to like block the entrance to prison because of something.
I was that when my wife and I got married.
Yeah, it was.
It was Crane would have been there too then.
Yeah.
You got married at the prison.
Gosh,
Oh,
you know, if I was drinking, I would say it sounds like a great idea. I really want to say it sounds like a great idea.
It does sound like a great idea, but I feel like you can abuse it.
I mean, anything can be abused. Honestly.
Well, does this now mean that being in a public roadway is a good enough reason to run someone over at full speed?
That's what I was thinking about number 1. That's
Well, that's why I said you have to warn them first, like, because I presumably it's not going to be like as I'm approaching, like, hey, get out of the way. It's going to be like I've stopped, get out of the way, or I'm coming through anyway. And then
It's
if
not-
they don't, it's on them.
What this does is it gives the judges a chance to define what a peaceful assembly is or a protest. Like, you know, maybe like how many people, or like, was there did they publicize their protest or assembly previous to getting run over and then trying to sue the guy who did it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. I added the 911 thing. Any ideas, concerns currently?
I mean, even if there's an abuse concern, I think if our gut feeling says this is good, we could always pass it and then repeal it like next week if we open up like a fucking hornet's
Is
nest
it a
on this
crime
one.
if I organize a protest before people realize how this works and then go rent a car and just get a little stress relief?
Oh
I
my
feel like
God,
that might
Crane.
qualify under the abuse of this, though, wouldn't it?
I didn't hear shit, bro. You know what I'm saying, dog? I didn't hear shit, dog.
Oh my god, no.
Okay, number 9. All legal citizens of Los Santos have the right to vote for their own mayor. A mayor is the premier elected official to represent the will of the general populace.
I do get what the point of this one is, but the
What's the
wording
point?
of their own mayor, I feel like
Oh,
that
yeah.
is a very
Isn't this well? Hold on. Isn't this all of this in the establishment of the city council?
I feel like I peeked at it and I did not see anything that. Hold on, let me check.
The mayor's seat will be elected via majority vote from the citizens in a quarterly election.
Oh, there we go.
Boom. Okay. Well, we can remove that one then.
Okay.
My MDT is freezing.
I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll remove it and then I'll renumber it.
Are we good to
Thank
take
you,
that
Juno.
break then if we're good on that point?
Well, we're not done
Yeah.
yet.
I thought you said we were
Thought
taking
you
a break
said
after that
break,
point.
though, right?
Oh, sorry. I meant after the thingy, but we could take it after the. We could take that right now. Fuck it. Let's take it right now. Fuck it. Break time.
Hi.
All right, beer back.
Tom. Same.
Malton, can you open this? Because I cannot.
Man, that's
Can
a
you
real
open it?
shame.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Hey, I'm on break basically. What's up? Yeah, I should be able to afford it. I'm just gonna run down there on my break then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll take it.
It's going to be a lot for warning.
Oh.
I mean, if that's what we're dealing with, that's what we're dealing with. I'll have to learn how to drive manual.
Oh.
Okay. Wait, so are you regretting buying the
Oh.
Actually, hold on. Maybe I can make this one easier. No, I can't. Never mind. The boxes fell apart on me, so.
Nah, you're good. Thank you. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I just bought 10 combos.
Holy shit, John.
I just figured you all are in there for a lot of time. And now we're.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Feel free to text me if you need anything else.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Whose bicycle is this?
That's mine. I rode it up the stairs. You can have it. I'm about to go to sleep.
Sorry. What's up?
Yo, hey.
Alex, I'm so sorry.
How you doing?
I'm okay. I've been sick this last week. You know, it's
I'm
been
sorry.
awful.
Yeah, we have a lot to catch up on, and I don't know if anyone's told you.
Yeah, so I've
anything.
heard. No, I've heard more about it in this meeting than.
Really? Were they talking about it in the meeting?
I've heard examples. Yeah.
Oh.
Heard a little bit about what's going on, at least.
Yeah, it's been pretty fucking crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty. I want to catch up with you. I want to like grab you and like fill you in on stuff.
Okay, but I'm still in the meeting.
Okay, cool. I mean, go back to your meeting then. I just wanted to fill you in on stuff, but if you're doing that, then you know, I'm just talking with Jaeger and Bjorn right now.
Okay.
Alright, well, we want
Yeah, we're just on a break right now, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, awesome. I'll talk
Could
to
be
you
a couple
later.
hours still. It takes a
Okay,
while.
well, if it keeps going for 2 more hours and I'm not awake, I'll try to be awake making parts. That if I'm not, we'll just catch up tomorrow. Okay.
Sure.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome. Right. Have fun in your meeting. Be safe.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Help! 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 Help!
No, you don't get to leave.
I'm a caged animal.
Oh my god.
I know, coming
Am
in
I
with the
texting?
14 months. Thank you.
Still loves to dance.
Dahlia said, with tax, it's 93K. I have 40K. That is what the text says. Thank you.
Is anybody else having their contacts disappear from their phone? Yeah, alright. I'll go fuck myself.
Ah, this is where everybody at. Hey, where the mayor at, motherfucker?
He stepped out.
Fuck. Actually, can any of you guys make motherfucking crack legal?
No. Who the fuck unlocked that?
I've tried to resize this so like I can have the MDT. Is that good? Do I need to zoom in on it a little? That is readable. So right now we got the commercial vehicle improper parking. Got the lawyers required in all contracts. That was a thing. Ethical disclosures. I guess I can finally actually read that now. See what he meant by that. Okay, so we can work on the TLDR right now. Commercial parking violations passed. That was Bucky.
Alex.
The hell you want? Busy.
Okay. So, you know how I've wanted to work for the government but haven't wanted to do shit? I've changed my mind. I want to do shit.
Like what?
Please hire me.
No.
Please.
Why?
I need a job. I
Okay.
please.
No. I can put you on the interest list, but it's not happening.
Why not?
Too many people for these hours.
Okay,
These
what hours
not
are
my
needed?
focusing on. These hours aren't focused right now.
I'll wake up whenever you want me to.
Doesn't that disrupt your kind of whole day? I don't want to like do that to you, you know? I don't want to be like, hey, wake up at 6 a.m. Go fucking work. That sounds fucking ridiculous, Bucky.
Does it pay? I'll do it if it pays.
Not well, but I mean, you're better off continuing doing your sanitation.
I hate sanitation. Bane does that. Well, I tried. Thank you anyway, Alex.
Yeah, I can put you on the interest list.
No, it's fine. You don't need to do that.
We expand later, maybe.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
I
Bye.
have one, but only Juno can wear it because of how masks are now.
Wow, that's
I'm so sorry. Here you go.
maybe.
There you are. You look fine for me, but he did look fucked. So hopefully, hopefully someone has
Can
me.
I hold it on until everyone else comes
Oh
in,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
I'll
go
fill
for
it?
it.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully, I'll be good since I was here the whole time.
All right, I guess I'm suffering.
You look great. You just look like Molson now.
That's
Where's
funny.
Gina?
People used to say that a long time ago.
I'm here, Max.
Oh, hey.
Thank you. Thank you.
How many of you guys wouldn't be able to do a late night meeting for Michael's sake? Because he's kind of showed up twice already for the this one. I can do a late night one. Who cannot?
What's like late night?
So on the weekend, I can do whenever.
Okay. Probably I would say in terms of hours, probably like 8 hours from now.
Holy fuck. Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
That's
no, I
very
can-
late for me at that point.
I can
though.
make any time work as long as I have enough, prep to get myself ready.
So for reference, that would be 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Pacific.
Beautiful.
Yep. Or we can do earlier than that
yeah,
too.
I can do it. No, it's okay. I can make that happen.
Like how about like 11 or 12 p.m. or a.m. I guess Pacific.
Okay.
So,
Actually,
well, we could
Getting
just do it
told.
right after tsunami, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
told
that
to
should
show
work.
up,
hour after
Easy,
tsunami.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can do that.
We can alternate for Michael's sake.
Yeah, I'm down.
Or we can make that our permanent time too if it's more agreeable.
whichever. I'm like, I don't mind this. I'm just a bit on the slow side.
Myself having like trouble sticking around for the entire meeting if we do it at that time.
Okay.
It's not really necessarily about the starting time; it's about when it ends.
Right.
True. So in the future, I want us to use that agenda posting, and hopefully that'll help us speed things along. Also, right now we're kind of filling in the holes and stuff, so it's going to take a little bit longer. As yeah, they're going to get shorter and shorter as we go on.
Yeah, I'm down for any time. I can make it work whenever. No problem.
Word.
I
Yeah.
have,
No, that's fine with me.
I have like 10 combos on me if anyone needs food.
I would take one. Sorry not to interrupt. That's okay. Someone gave me a slushie earlier. That was really nice. I'm nowhere near thirsty with thanks to that. Although it kind of felt like drinking a hamburger through a straw, which is really hard to explain, but that's kind of what it felt like I was doing. Thank you. Thank you.
Rain, you want some?
Just gave me horrible cringe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm good, Juno. Thank you.
All right. I already gave you food. There you go. I'm giving burgers for now, but I can give fries.
I have food. I have food. I have food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have chips on me, but I definitely
no
won't turn down a
business stuff
burger.
yet.
Thank you.
So I don't
Alex,
I guess
you
I'll
need
wait
anything?
till everyone's back.
Yeah, I'm all
Yeah,
desired.
I'll
I
get
had
something.
I had kind of an idea just now. It might require a little work on the back end. But we've always struggled with, and I thought about this
Thank
because
you.
some of the stuff we're putting
No
in.
worries.
We've always struggled with like what is a civilian and what isn't, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Sorry about
always kind of
that.
been like if you're not defined as like a member of a gang formally, then you're kind of just a civilian, right?
No, I got stuff from the vending
And in the
machine,
past,
thank you.
it's led to a lot of like kind of people running around with millions of dollars in sports cars, but no real understanding of where it came from, why they got it, whatever. And so it's been kind of hard for PD to like treat people accordingly because everyone kind of just gets lumped into being a criminal unless they're a government employee.
I thought Nakota said that in the past it was if they weren't a government employee, then they were.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is like I think you should have a benefit to being like a reputable citizen, but I'm trying to figure out ways to quantify that, right? Or qualify it rather. And so I'm gonna talk to some folks about this, maybe the guys that run Group 6 and things like that. But what if what if we, as the state, empowered PD to, when they look at someone's profile, to see what kind of standing they have with civilian jobs. So, for example, if I pull over Nakota and he's just Joe Blow on the street, and he, he's being accused of something, or there's some, there's some allegation about him or whatever, maybe it might be deserved for him to have some kind of public facing recognition of the fact that he, does engage in like civilian. I don't know how to phrase it. It's kind of in my head. It's a fledgling idea, but basically, if there's a way that we could that civilians could get a benefit to their reputation with the police without, without being a government employee.
Yeah, give him a social
So-
credit
social
score,
credit
Crane.
system.
Oh,
yeah. Social
no.
credit system.
Oh
Let's
no!
go.
Oh no!
Oh God, Crane's doing it now.
Let's go, Crane.
No, we just call it commercial rep.
I don't know, because like, for example, I feel like if someone, has worked hard enough to become like a reputable member of Group 6 that's entrusted to like deliver large cash deposits, then that probably should mean something, right? And I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Anyway, just a thought. I'm just floating that out there for brainstorming in the future because that just came to me.
So, like, if we pulled someone over and they were like, "Oh no, I work Group 6 every day," there might actually be a way to verify with their boss. Is that what you're saying, or is it more?
Yeah, kind of like. So,
How come I never get random
or
texts when
for
I'm offline,
example,
dog?
if someone were to be found with a PD gun planted on them, there might be like more benefit of the doubt for the police to decide whether to charge someone based on their reputation with state-run agencies.
Right. That was
Got it.
a conversation. Like, yeah. Like,
Because right now you're kind of just flipping coins in a lot of ways, and even in the past 5 years ago, unless someone was a judge or whatever, you're kind of just going off of personal reputation that you might know through word of mouth.
Right.
But given that we have state-run agencies, maybe there should be some kind of benefit to that, recognition. I don't know. It's a fledgling thought just for people to chew on.
Okay, are we ready to continue going down the Bill of Human Privilege?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've sorted out number 7. Thank you, Crane, for adding that last part. Number 8. Oh wait, sorry, we already did number 8 too. Any objections to 8 again? As is currently?
Nope. I think it's
Nope.
Nice.
I'm gonna add one more thing, number 7, and just
Yeah.
say that recordings obtained with, well, how do we even adjudicate? I guess the judges had to figure it out. I was gonna say maybe we write something about recordings obtained without this affirmative consent will not be viewed as valid evidence in court, but then everyone would just say, I didn't know.
Yeah, just let
So
the judge figure it
I guess let
out.
the judge figure it out. Okay.
Number 9 is citizens of Los Santos who possess a legal and current weapons license have the right to bear and possess a firearm. Other tools or other or implements utilized as melee weapons do not require a license to bear and possess.
I have a problem with this.
What's wrong?
The DOJ has recently issued a clarifying advisory to the PD that even though they maintain weapons licenses, they may not purchase and maintain civilian guns.
Correct. And everyone's well aware of it within PD. So,
Why don't you just change current to civilian then?
So illegal and civilian weapons license?
Yeah. I mean, I think PD would handle anyone who wants to argue that technicality, right? So I think that's probably fine if we just add that term.
Yeah.
Forgive me for being obtuse.
Sure.
What's the point of this?
It's kind of in the same vein of like a lot of I don't want there to be unspoken expectations of people, or expectations from the people to the government, right? Which is why we did freedom of speech, which is why we did the free housing stuff. Obviously everyone knows that they have access to free housing. It's just kind of a little fluff, a little flavor to what's it called? That's basically it.
Okay, I mean, hey, as long as we still control who gets the license, then I guess effectively it's no different.
Right.
All right, sounds good to me.
The next one is my favorite one. All citizens of Los Santos possess the right to challenge another to a duel to the death. Individuals who choose to participate in a consenting duel to the death must sign a contractual agreement written by a lawyer with a bar license under the Los Santos Department of Justice. 2 police officers must be present during the duel with a copy of a signed contractual agreement. If more than 2 parties wish to
Is this just a
participate, they
more
will duel at the
extreme
Vinewood
version
Bowl,
of
the Coliseum.
Is this more extreme
Probably need a
trial
psych
by
screening
combat?
on this one.
Saki
Or
is already
mutual
often
combat?
overstaffed. That might be a struggle to get, but Pixie might be down if it's big with her if you want.
But I thought we didn't we just do trial or combat last week? Now we're doing shooting.
But this is so that one's a bit less violent, and it would be with fists. This
And they can
is
set their own terms, basically.
Who enforces the contract?
This is a duel to the death, so one person's going to die at the very least.
Oh my god!
Very slow.
So we're 100%
crazy.
sure one of these people's gonna die after this is over.
They better. They signed a contract.
It's crazy.
What if they're forced into it?
How would they be forced into it?
Well,
Points,
the
gun at
contract
head,
will-
sign
yeah,
contract,
yeah,
pussy.
sign contract. Do
Oh
this
no.
Yeah.
Well, a lawyer would need to be present for that.
Lawyer also has gun to head.
And some
But,
may just do it
yeah.
because it's funny.
They might. You know that the first people up there are going to be people like Chatterbox, and he's not going to die. We've managed to bring him back from the brink of everything.
James Randall
Great
will
medical
just
care
go
around
around
here.
and challenge everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this one.
I mean, it might be a good way to get guns off the street. Because there's nothing that says you
That's
can legally
fair.
possess a firearm.
Yeah,
Just what? Let
arrest
people
them
sign
after
these
the fact if
contracts
they
and then
use
just
it.
get the guns.
Yeah.
I mean, and a duel isn't always necessarily a gun, right?
Oh, if it has to be
They just
supervised
fight
by
each other.
if it has to be supervised by the police, right? Think about it this way.
About to say that, yeah.
They're at let's say they're at the Vinewood Bowl. 2 people are dueling to the death. Understood. Let's say one of them was forced at gunpoint to go there. What's stopping that guy from shouting to the cops, "I did not agree to this"? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I have your girlfriend
person with a
hostage.
weapon.
You
Or...
need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah.
this or she dies. If you say anything to anybody, she dies.
I don't agree with the gun to the head loophole, guys. I'm just gonna say that.
I think we're looking too much into it. I mean, my thing is I agree with the psych. Have a doctor on scene so they could medically pronounce them dead. The duel is not over until a
my
doctor
God.
pronounces them dead.
That's crazy.
I
What
also
if
think
I'm supervising and I get shot?
I mean, look, don't go to it then. I don't know.
Well,
But
I have to.
I also think they
I
should all
guess,
occur regardless of the Vinewood. Bowl.
Generally, none of our doctors are authorized to treat outside of the hospital. That doesn't necessarily apply to verifying someone is deceased.
Yeah, they're not treating; they're checking for a pulse, right?
So
Like-
I guess we could. I have a feeling Derek would have some issues with that.
And this
But
would have to be contingent upon PD even being available to do this because.
Well, hold on.
people
So
who are
let me just question the obvious here. Why did we enact mutual combat with the restrictions it had if we're just going to do this?
for a less permanent, less violent, more fisticuffs oriented thing for judges to supervise.
Shouldn't it be the other way around?
This is first degree mutual combat.
Yeah.
First degree mutual combat.
This is advanced mutual combat.
I think this is the first time I'm actually going to be a stick in the mud and say I'm not down for this one, dog.
I like the concept. I don't.
I feel
really...
like
I think
there's
if
just
we're worried
too
about
much,
if we're worried
it would
about
set up too many people like to pull some. Yeah, like I said, I expect the worst of everybody, and I can just see this going so horribly wrong.
But if we're worried about people getting held up and stuff, then perhaps when the contract is being signed, then we have cops present, and the cops 101 can talk to the individuals who are going to sign it and say, or basically straight up, are you being forced into this? Yes or no?
And again, if they have somebody hostage,
Yeah.
then
Well, I think you all are straight up looking too much. There's so many checks in
Yeah,
this. They have to get signed off by psych. They have to get signed off by a lawyer. They have to do. I'm saying they should have to do that at the Vinewood Bowl regardless. There's going to be a doctor on there. There's going to be 2 cops there who I'm presuming are doing their due diligence. Like I think we should be legislating for the 99.9% and not like the worst in the city, like except
I agree with you when it comes to everything but people dying.
Yeah,
There's a reason why we have, because as a counterpoint to that, there's a reason why we have beyond a reasonable doubt, right? Because we protect life to the point of the 1%.
Yeah, I'm an EMS. It is my job to save lives. I'm not going to legislate things where people can actually die. No, I'm not. This is a no for me.
Fair. I offer a clear counterpoint. I think some people in Los Santos deserve to die.
Agreed.
So
That's
do
why
we
we're
want a
trying to
death
have
penalty
Joey
then,
Toes
or-
put to death.
Death penalty for.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Well, see that's the thing though, right? These violent shitbags, their lawyer might get them out of a death penalty, right? But if they're stupid enough to go out in the street and shoot people and rob people and do whatever, then they might be stupid enough to agree to a duel to the death, which takes care of the problem at the end point. Also, we could charge for it, guys. What do you think?
I do like money in the state account.
Yes,
That's
sir.
always good.
Let's put this to a vote then. I am for this as written. Nakota?
I'm gonna be a nay on this one as written.
Not as written, but if I add just like my couple stipulations, I would be.
Okay. Let's dial it back then. What is a stipulation that you would like to see in here?
So I
Hold
would
on,
like
Jake.
to see.
I guess you guys can't see my
a
fucking
psych sign
phone.
off. I do agree with that.
From both parties?
Yes, because
The
one might
Normie Adams.
die. They have to know that they may die during this, right? So they have to be of sound mind. I could go either way on this. I'll defer to like Cantor or the doctors, but I think a doctor being present to check for a pulse, I think that'd be warranted.
I don't know if I can promise that, but I don't hate it. I'm open to the idea.
And I think to prevent the shit lording or not that, sorry, the gun to the head types of arguments, I think it should always be at the Vinewood Bowl. Like, this isn't going to be something that's in like a back alley thing. Like it's the Vinewood Bowl, the Coliseum. Like, all duels to the death are done there.
All right, hold on. All right. So I know that Edda disagrees with this on a moral level, which is fine. Nakota, what a part of this is it a moral thing for you?
Partially, I'm more like, okay, so the I'm obviously coming this from a PD standpoint, but the idea that say every single police officer you try to approach says, I object to this on a moral level and I don't want to participate in it.
Yeah.
I know that's like a very hypothetical. I'm just, this is where my
I
mind goes
think
to all
that would be a
these.
good way for the police to make their political voice known if they all objected on that ground, honestly.
That said, and I mean this is a compliment, Nakota, but you're one of the most well-spoken, moral police officers I've ever known. A lot of them are just high school graduates, and a lot of them have the bloodlust.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna say this in the best terms I can, and you guys will have to read into this however you want.
Sure.
I think that we're creating an unenforceable free roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Mr. Simone was referring to as a slippery slope. Listen, Max, as someone who's a big fan of westerns and the righteous man and all that, I'm a big fan of the idea. I was one of the judges who 5 years ago consistently allowed mutual combat. I'm all for it, but I think there are issues at hand that are greater than us that would prevent this from ever working. And if you want to discuss that, we can discuss it privately.
Tell you what, I will speak to somebody about this.
Yeah.
I think it is not impossible to enforce this.
I know that things like this have been attempted in the past, and the consistent outcome is that people did not die.
Well, I think it's possible to, following all of these stipulations and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm saying no. Okay, let's talk about this elsewhere. I can't.
I know what you're saying. I get it.
Do we want to vote based off of the feasibility stuff, or do you want to table it then until we talk to other people, Max? Or you talk to other people rather.
I recommend tabling it.
I think we should table it as well.
Yeah,
okay,
let's table that and move on. Yeah.
I will speak to people about this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little extra work, but I think it's for a good cause.
Do you want me to remove it?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want to copy that and then,
Oh,
do
I had another
whatever with
idea.
it?
In terms of admin side of this, I think
Sure.
that we should, with our agenda, or not with our agenda, when we have the documents and we edit them like this at the meeting, the ones that get tagged as approved, I will volunteer to do this. What we should then do is, and what I'm doing is, I'm going to volunteer to do this, but also say that I'm not writing shit up in the future separately because I just don't have time. If we approve language in a meeting, it gets tagged as approved, then what I'm going to work on is a method by which I can then transition the report to the state announcements category. So the approved legislative acts immediately just get transitioned not only into legislation, but also state announcements. So then people can check the public MDT and just see what we passed.
All right. I like that.
Okay, cool. So
You want me
yes, Juno,
to-
please remove things that we table.
Yep.
That way they don't get promoted.
All right.
Okay. Juno, can you copy this
Yeah, I
as
got
written
you.
and put it somewhere else? Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
I think that's
Okay.
what he said.
I have a point that I need to comment on when we get far enough down. Okay. The new number 10. I'm a fan of this one. The people of Los Santos reserve the right to form an organized militia in the event that their government has decided to militarize their police force, in parentheses S, so if there's other departments and whatnot that pop up. The leader of the militia should be elected by the people who wish to participate in it. The utmost effort must be made by this militia to reach a peaceful solution to their government's transgressions first. Alternative methods of reaching a solution will be just only if this has been attempted. Boom.
What is militarizing a police force defined as?
That's what I was thinking.
The precedent will be doing something like Sanguine again.
Yeah, but that wasn't those people renounced their citizenship.
Yeah.
So that's not a militia.
Loudly.
Okay, well, they weren't a militia. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, what I'm saying is that the crux of the issue here is the militarization of the police force.
And I'm saying, how do we define that?
With sanguine as an
Yeah,
example.
but sanguine wasn't. We're circular.
Yeah, that didn't. The militarization of the police force didn't happen until Sanguine
Renounced their
renounced their
citizenships.
citizenship and declared.
So the two examples we have of the police force being militarized are both in situations where the other party attempted either one to annex land from the state, declare it their own, and declare themselves separate from the judicial and police systems, or two, the people absconded from the state physically and then were given the opportunity to return without consequence and chose to affirmatively renounce their citizenship. So in either event, I don't know how you can define militarization that would justify a militia. See what I'm saying? Like even in other jurisdictions, the militarization internally only happens when people disagree with the rule of law and separate themselves formally.
That was also
Yeah,
because we didn't
Rox,
have a
this
the
last one
police
took
only
4
got
hours, so-
militarized because we don't have a standing army in this city. Like they were just the most well-equipped ones. I mean, I think if the police are getting too out of whack, that's on either like the treasurer to defund them quite a bit, or this council to come to a vote and say, hey, you know, you guys gotta stop doing this, or we're pulling back your power, like however that may be.
There's no way I'm approving.
Look, I'm not averse to the idea of a militia. What I'm trying to understand is how we would, what would trigger the militarization.
Yeah.
And if the examples being given are Sanguine and the Sandy Shores War, then I don't see how a militia matters there because those people are no longer citizens anyway. In both cases, in Sandy, they established a compound, declared themselves a sovereign state, and declared the lands annexed. So they renounced their citizenship by pure definition.
Okay, stop there.
And
Stop
in the
there.
other, when they
Stop
did
there.
affirmatively, yeah.
Okay, so that happens. Why is it the purview of the police force to militarize and peacekeep that?
It's not the purview of the police. In
not.
Sanguine, they were ordered.
Why did
to
they
by
do
the
it?
The Senate ordered them to.
Yeah,
Because the federal government
Wrong
ordered
chat.
them to because we didn't
Uh-oh.
have a standing army.
Okay, well, let's let the federal government handle this in the future then.
What do you mean?
I mean, the federal government has enough power and sway to establish all the infrastructure that we're working on now. It exists because you communicate with it. Why not let the federal government take this into their hands instead of putting the responsibility on the police force to act as an interim army?
Oh God.
Oh no.
You don't want to do that.
What I don't want to do is to have the barely educated police force of Los Santos acting as a
So why don't
want.
then we can accomplish that with a different approach.
Okay.
Why don't you just put in a bill of human privilege that an employee of the state in a law enforcement capacity may not be forcefully conscripted into a multinational conflict?
Perfect.
Important P meeting.
Because that accomplished, and I'm with you on your goal on that. I'm with you there. That's fine. I just, I think the other way is a misapplication of the idea.
Hello.
Well, I like your idea too, so let's get it.
Hello.
Yeah, let me write some
Kylie,
language.
thank you for the raid.
I wrote a little summary. I don't know if you see it right there.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah, an employee of the
everybody.
state in a law enforcement capacity may not be forcibly conscripted into a multinational conflict. Yeah, easy. Perfect.
Important city
Okay.
council
The
meeting.
doctors
Very
were.
boring.
What about that?
I would say
Like,
in
you know that.
I would just say an employee of the state may not.
Or any employee. Any employee.
I
Yeah, that's
fought
fine.
in
Any employee.
Sanguine.
Yeah, I was over
Now,
there.
do we want to extend that to civilians? Do we want to say there's no such thing as a draft?
Yes.
Okay.
Starblast, thank you. For
Well,
that.
I kind of like the idea of a draft, though. Let's say
Kylie
that.
said sin, lots of love.
I like that
Thank
too.
you.
Let's for like issues. Like I heard rumors of a Russian invasion at one point while I was in prison. I think a draft could be kind of good for us in that regard.
I think a draft it would be a tool in the back pocket that the council can vote on when
If
it's
someone
needed.
dodges the draft, are they considered an enemy of the state?
So right now we're going over a big.
I mean, we may have to.
Hold I think the people of Los Santos.
Come on, I was going to get to my drone striking idea.
Well, no, we get there. I'm just saying. I think that I think we're dealing with a group of people, i.e., the citizens of Los Santos, that are inherently violent and would jump at the opportunity to enter into a draft to the point where I think we don't even need. I don't even think we need to make it illegal for them if they decide not to do it. But you know what I'm saying. Like, I think there would be enough people to do something about something like that.
I've
if it
lost.
Ever came up.
So,
track
I
on
want
this one
to.
that's been
So,
discussed.
way
It was
back
talking
when,
about
during
organized
the whole
militia.
Russian stuff that happened. I remember specifically Kyle Pred wanted to be the leader of the Los Santos army. That never went through because it was just a mess, and also, the Russian embassy sort of died down, and it wasn't needed. But there was a question that was raised where people wanted to sign up
We've
to
been
be
taking
drafted to be
notes.
part of this army.
Oh my God,
And
I got it.
the question was, if they have a criminal record,
Gwen, thank
aka
you
a
for the 5
felony, are they
gifties.
still eligible
Shannon
to be
Nicole,
part of the
thank you for the
draft?
3 months.
Anyone who wants to lead the army has to submit into, let's call it, how many people, 8 or 10 max, into a 10-man Royal Rumble in the Coliseum to the death.
Oh yeah.
And the winner becomes the general.
There can only be one.
There can only be one.
Oh God.
There you go.
Well, we don't want to kill potential soldiers in the event that we need them on the front lines.
Yeah,
for
but
another
they'd
Eastern
always
Bloc
harbor a
moment.
grudge against them not being the leader. You can't have that person in your army.
Yeah, but we can also have like army generals and like
Rex, thank you
other
for the
like
5
captains
gifties.
or whatever the fuck, rather than just like one
Yeah,
leader.
it's
so these people
debate.
who were
We're
like
about
exactly
2.5
like
hours into this
where,
meeting.
Max was elected mayor, and then Michael was elected deputy mayor because he came second after Max. So it could be something along those lines.
All right, I think it, as written is good for me.
Sick.
Good as written.
Out if we need to.
An employee of
Yeah.
the state may not be formally conscripted into a multinational conflict. Works for me.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Number 11's another gimme, another fluff one, I suppose. Free mobile telecommunication services are provided by the state to all people in and about Los Santos. I specifically did not
Thank you for the
include
5 gifties.
citizens here because I think that everyone should have access to this particular service, even if they're an illegal citizen.
Oh, this is also I like this because this is also something we need. Because in other jurisdictions, when you subpoena someone's phone records, you have to go through like a private company, or you have to go through them to get their records and force them to produce. Here, it's all state run, so we just extract it ourselves. So this just codifies what is already kind of policy.
Lovely.
Okay.
I guess my one thing I'd say is, you know, people are gonna cry that they haven't got phones in prison and stuff. Is that
Ooh,
they're-
true.
Yeah, that's handled by, again, the right's not conflicting with any other. You know,
okay.
being there's already laws about contraband in prison, which includes
Fine with
phones
me
and
then.
things like that.
All right. Easy
So
enough.
right below that we have the Ninth Amendment reiteration for Los Santos, which is each of these stated rights may not infringe upon the rights of others guaranteed by this document.
Or
Yeah, that's
conflict with
fair.
the penal code probably should be a.
Okay, can you toss that in there?
Yeah.
The next one is potentially contentious. Also, I need to add something here. This next little blurb. I want to add a line that allows us to add to this document as well, if need be. Right now, that next blurb is about the people being able to raise issues and have a public vote to add stuff to this, provided it is not outright detrimental to the economic future of Los Santos, or if it is impossible. To give us some veto power insofar as someone coming up and being like, hey, I think everyone should have a bazooka, you know, and then obviously, you know, the people of Los Santos are going to be like, hell yeah. But, you know, obviously that's not possible for us to maintain law and order if everyone's got a bazooka. Right?
Could they
Come on,
vote
Cats,
on
thank you for
something
the
and then
100
it's brought to
biddies.
us and we vote on it? Or is that circumvent the actual, like, pure vote that you're looking for?
I would
with this?
change economic to something else because there are things that are possible. I'm trying to think of how would you phrase that.
Why don't you just leave it as outright detrimental to the future of Los Santos?
As determined by the council. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll probably want something that will literally cripple the state account, and I can't have that. Yeah.
Okay. So the idea here is that concerned parties that represent a majority of the people of Los Santos have presented in clear terms a new privilege to be added to the Bill of Human Privilege to the local government. I left this vague on purpose. I didn't want to define a specific role. Basically this says that anyone in the local government, i.e. Maybe I should write, instead of local government, we put Council of 8 instead at the end
Can we
there.
put a limit on this or something? Because
you mean like proposals can only be proposed like once, like every 3 months, or?
Well, I mean, for example, there was a lack of a limit on Twitter on the phones, so people started posting the script to like the B movie.
You mean a
and my
character
similar?
limit?
No, I mean like a ballot limit. So only so many public privilege items will be voted on each period.
Almost subpar
When you say
calzone
period,
and
do you mean
nachos?
every Council of 8 period?
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to think through, for example, I'm Chatterbox. I hear this. I'm gonna submit like 15 different initiatives each week that deal with like clowns and being funny.
The clown risk.
That's a good point.
I'm trying to think of how to make it so we're not tearing our eyes out dealing with this shit. And so people also respect it as a process. Because if it gets abused and people just put random shit in there because they can, then
we'll have to stop it.
Maybe we should do our due diligence before the vote happens.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Because step 1 is they bring it to us.
I thought it was step 2. It gets voted on the 80%, and then we decide if it's possible and not detrimental. I'm saying, what if we do our due diligence before it goes on the ballot?
Yeah, perfect. I'll just move this one up then.
Yeah, it says that there. If the 2 conditions are met, it will be put up for a vote.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the other way around. Never mind. I misunderstood. Okay, I thought it was if it was the 2 conditions are met, then it'll be enacted. Okay, all right. Perfect.
Sick. 3 a.m. me did a good job here.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're good. Oh, I need to add a line about I want the Council of 8 to be able to suggest stuff for this as well. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, we already can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, why would we suggest it to a vote when we could just
add to it? I want us to be able to add to the Bill of Human Privilege.
Yeah, can we already do that? Like just
we can amend anything.
Okay, good.
We can amend the Constitution if we wanted to.
Okay, sick. All right. Just prettying this up a little bit. We've read through everything. Let's go for a vote. Any nays on the Bill of Human Privilege?
Yeah, give me a second just to scan this shit again.
Bill of Human Privilege votes. So yeah, we've just been note taking for fucking all day.
As Crane's reading over it, we're going to go through the vote here. I am obviously a yay, as this is something I presented. Nakota.
Yeah, as written, I'm a yay.
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 All right. Juno,
Yay.
Mr. Simone,
Yay.
Etta,
Yay.
Mr. Crane.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, the Bill of Human Privilege passes.
Yeah,
securing
it gets
basic rights
last week
and
was
other
really
assorted
fucking
miscellaneous
draining.
nonsense for the
Doing a
people of
back-to-back
Los
meeting like that.
Santos. Unanimously, even after some revision.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in a
Next,
good place.
next we have the so I drafted up a council pardoning process after we discussed the concept of a true pardon last time. It required some elaboration and work.
Am I using 4? It's been a
Why
while.
don't you
We've been
guys
on this one for a hot minute.
has
We've been
anyone
on this
not
one
read
for
the
like a
council
fucking
pardoning
hour.
process document, report
I
1608?
skimmed it, but let me do a full read.
Yeah, I read it.
Okay, I'm gonna take a quick little breakaroo while everyone gets caught up, and I will be right back.
Okay.
God damn it, Bucky. What?
It's actual important shit. Mass stabbing at Mosley's.
Call the cops.
Yeah, no, the cops are here. Don't worry. I'm just letting you know. Glorion, Jaeger, and Bjorn all got stabbed. I don't know who it is. Some guys in cowboy hats.
Some guys in cowboy hats. Cool. Okay.
I didn't want to text you all that though, in case you know.
Yeah. No. I mean, I get you. There's not much I can do though.
No, I know. I'm letting you know in case people are fucking targeting guild members and whatnot.
Okay.
In case you're somewhere not safe. I'm sorry. I just thought you should know.
All right. Okay.
All right, that's it.
Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye. Guess there's another mass stabbing at Mosley's.
Who would have thought?
Where are we? Expungement process. And we'll add another tab. Go to reports, and we will. Pardoning process. Can I drag tags out? No. The worst part about that is I don't even know their fucking numbers. Hmm. Okay, so looks like this was drafted up. The difference from last week was it was the mayor who could do it. This time it's the council.
Did he walked out, didn't he?
Yeah.
There's a question. Assuming when he says that you need to remove yourself, that includes the mayor.
I was also curious about that.
Yeah, because further down he says that the mayor would be the third, but I don't know if that's just an example. Also, why would they get their money back if they?
Michael, you are literally reading questions that I have written down on my notepad as we speak. So,
Yeah, I mean, I fuck their money. That was my main thing about this.
And why specifically medical servants?
yeah, I had that down too.
Damn.
I also wondered that one. Like, no, I love my doctors and everything, but that doesn't mean they're like infallible. That's a pretty random group.
Right.
500,000 by the state.
I mean, even me as EMS, like, I don't know about all that one.
Mayor of Los Santos reserves the right to suggest and pardon a legal citizen. They should feel that the other aspects of judgment or government, judicial, and legislative have not adequately excused the
like
ability to ensure justice in
there
the
should be
individual in
something in here
question.
about
This
frequent
places
flyers
the
as well,
judgment
because
of the individual's case, which must have
you don't wanna see the
transpired.
same people going up and getting pardoned over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think that there should be a limit of some
Question,
regard on
the
that.
elected
Oh, you should.
council of
No,
eight.
yeah, you should only be limited to one, of
You
course.
get one.
I mean,
Is they written in here?
Responsibility to determine
council
whether or
would
not their
just
charges
also
and
just
punishment should
not
stand
keep
on the
voting to
legal
pardon the
record.
same
This will
person
be
over and over.
accomplished by a
I guess they
majority
could just
vote.
deny the vote, but yeah, it should be made
Yeah.
very clear that they just that's
Hello.
not going to keep happening.
Yeah. But yeah.
Where'd Crane
Hello,
go?
welcome back. He said he left, didn't he? And then he walked out.
Do any of you guys have any issues with any of the wording in here?
Yes.
Okay, which part?
Michael and Malcolm.
Sorry, I can at least start with my first question I had written down after I read this morning is does that mean every one of us could be conflicted except for you?
Correct.
So why would that be? Just
if it's like a freak instance happens, in which case, because Los Santos is a big place with millions of people, right? But
Agreed.
it seems like we run into the same usual suspects, right?
Mhm.
To the point where it feels more like a small village at times.
Yep.
So if there is a freak happening in which all of us are like or all of you guys might be like good friends with this person, or had like conflicting relationships with the person, or maybe you're involved in a court case and stuff, that's the situation in which it would happen. I don't think that would ever happen truly, but I decided to kind of cover that base if need be, and I chose the medical servants of Los Santos to fill in that particular situation because I think it's an inherently merciful and passionate, or not passionate, what's the word, an honorable profession that allows them to act more impartially, right? Because like a paramedic, kind of duty. For example, if we didn't have a doctor, a paramedic's kind of duty bound to treat anyone, right?
Technically, we don't take an oath. Keep that in mind.
Oh,
The
really?
counterpoint, Julio's
No.
a doctor.
Yeah, there's Reed is a doctor.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
I included a well-respected and trusted representative from the medical
Oh,
service
okay.
of Los
Thank God.
Santos.
Thank God. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and
That's good.
I do get where you're coming from now. So that
No,
that
yeah,
clears
that's
up my
fair.
question.
Only a question I had is why the fine?
That was another one.
Because a pardon doesn't technically mean that you're declaring that they didn't do it. It means you're declaring that for a various number of reasons, you don't believe they should be punished. And taking them out of jail, I get with, but refunding the fine is interesting.
I think it should be refunded because the concept of this iteration of a pardon kind of insinuates that
How do they see it? The
their
fine
issue is
part?
raised to a point where people, or where it is the perception that they must not have actually done any wrong. Like the system failed
Oh,
at some point
it's
for
right
them,
at the
and I think that
bottom.
they should be reimbursed for.
Yeah, I was going to
It's-
ask about that language too. So effectively, we're voting on whether or not we think the DOJ fucked it up.
Not explicitly.
Wasn't that what you just said?
Yeah, to you guys, but the way that it's written right now, it kind of it is. Look, it's a check and balance, right? On the judicial and legislative systems. A fine is part of the punishment, regardless. I think if someone is found to be pardonable by whoever would be voting on that, deserves to have their money returned to them, because it insinuates that us, people who have been trusted with the responsibility to determine the course of Los Santos, have the wisdom to determine whether or not they truly deserve to be punished.
Okay, so wait, does it say in here which kinds of charges can be pardoned? Because
Yes. No violent capital crimes will ever be reimbursed or removed from their record.
Okay.
It says that in expungement. I don't know if it says that specifically in the pardon process.
I did have I was just gonna bring up someone. So right before this, I had Norman run up to me. Sorry to be this guy again. It's up to y'all if you find this to be a concern at all. Apparently, Jonathan Acker, I believe is his name, is claiming credit for helping write both this pardon and the expungements pretty loudly.
In the past,
he already has felony crimes, and it would directly impact him.
This one, and also, in good faith with the disclosure project that Malton is working on, this was written by me, and it was essentially spell checked by my wife.
So why is he claiming that he wrote these?
In the past, he and I'm looking at him as to serve as a legislative aid. In the past, he was kind of giving me advice on this, but everything that was written here, I didn't even use his work as a reference.
I was going to say, because he approached me in the courthouse not but like 2-3 days ago to say that he was working with you on numerous pieces of legislation.
Yeah, that's what he told Adams as well, apparently.
That is something that might happen in the future, but it did not happen for any of the stuff that I'm presenting to you right now.
Yeah, and I can attest to that because yesterday we were up so fucking late working on this.
Sounds good. You should stop working with idiots, probably. So that's on him. I trust you though. I believe that.
Well, no, I'll work with whoever I want, provided it's legal.
Damn.
All right.
What
Yeah,
happens?
fucking
What happens if the
Giga Chad,
mayor's
holy.
conflicted?
The mayor can't be conflicted as this is written.
It says any council member. You are a council member.
Before that, it is a. Hold on, where did I write it? I may have written in that after that. I'm pretty sure I wrote it in here that the assumption here is that if the mayor presents someone to be suggested for a pardon, that insinuates that by default the mayor is their advocate, and therefore they are in favor of them receiving a pardon. Otherwise, it would have never gone before the council to begin with.
That kind of makes sense to me. I mean, if you're posing it, then you obviously are on their side.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Dakota?
I would say that I'm not opposed to a pardon system. I would say that as this is written, this looks more like judicial oversight than it does an actual pardon.
Yeah, that's
system.
where I'm kind of struggling. This makes it sound like you're so, for example, the way that I understand pardons is kind of like okay, so two terms just to make sure we're on the same page.
God,
Clemency,
this debate is going to be the
which
worst
is
one
the mayor
to try
steps
and
in
follow.
and says, you're up on the death penalty at the 0 hour. I'm going to grant you mercy because that's just like a human thing to do. Regardless of what you did, regardless of the fact that you're guilty, I don't believe in the death penalty. I'm the mayor. You get clemency. You don't get killed. Okay, that's what we had in the past. That was the extent of it. Pardons, I understand to mean that you feel that someone's benefit to society is greater than their crimes. And so you would pardon their crimes and allow them a release. So think this usually happens with people who, for example, go to jail and then they, become a lawyer and help people get exonerated and give people free legal advice and get people their GED, shit like that. This sounds like you're saying, and in fact it does say, right, that the other aspects of government have not adequately executed their ability to ensure justice, which to me sounds more like judicial oversight.
Counterpoint. Why not have some judicial oversight?
Well, we do.
What?
We have a Senate appeal, in which the federal government can step in when judges have made the wrong call.
Should we not have something that allows us to ease the burden of the federal government and handle things in city instead?
It is. There's hearings. It's not. This is literally, we've had cases that I've sat on where we've reversed judicial decisions that were incorrect interpretations of the law, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, some judges who now are trying to become lawyers again were removed from their positions because they didn't adequately enforce the law.
So the way that the system worked and possibly works now then is that when the judicial fucks up, the judicial checks and balances themselves with this hearing?
So typically there is a panel convened. In the past, it comprised of myself and 2 senators.
There's no Senate, though.
Correct. So the idea would be that there should be some kind of additional seating on the panel, and we haven't reached that stage yet. But nonetheless, the appeal system was conducted under a judicial setting. And I feel like that is the definition of judicial oversight. I think a pardon should be separate from the justice system.
How could it ever be separate from the justice system when a court case has to transpire prior to them even being considered for a pardon?
Because as described prior, pardons are typically not articulated to be a remedy for poor adjudication. They are a remedy for people who are exceptions to the norm in terms of sentencing, would be a good way to put it. So, for example, if you're sentenced to life because that is the statutory sentence for a certain type of crime, a pardon may be used to exemplify how, although that is the deterrent we want in society, you as a person have shown yourself to be unique.
I think let's not get hung up on the and you'll see this with the adoption thing. I think we have a unique position to sort of define in what it means in Los Santos for a pardon to be a pardon.
Sure.
I think that this is a healthy check on the judicial. I think this eases the burden of involving the federal government because this is, once again, while this particular pardon, as was stated in the last meeting, it isn't even the purview of the executive. It becomes the purview.
Suggestion. What if instead of the senators sitting in on the panel of a formal appeals case, non-conflicted members of the city council join myself. I describe and explain the legal precedents and rules to them, and then they join me in making a group decision as to the outcome.
I love that. Well, why not have both of these options though? Because for example, there might be someone who I personally, or the mayor personally, does not believe is worthy of enacting the pardoning process, but someone who may meet the qualifications for something like what you're suggesting.
So what I'm suggesting is you keep the appeal system. The panel system remains. Instead of senators, we draw on the city council as long as they're not conflicted. And then we rework the pardon to not be a judicial oversight, but to be more of what I've described as a mercy.
Apart from the sentence in the first paragraph there, what part of this makes it a judicial oversight?
The refunding of the fine, as example. I think so I would like pardons to exist as a way to grant special status to people who we believe deserve, despite their crimes, to be released. But I don't like the idea of refunding their money and declaring that the judicial fucked up, because if we as the Senate, or we as the, not the Senate, the city council are the ones handling appeals, then we'd essentially be saying we fucked up, which is kind of stupid.
But are you not outright saying that you fucked up through your appeal process or whatever? Or
that's why I don't. That's why I don't take a majority of cases.
Okay.
I well, if Siobhan was here, she could vouch for this. But I specifically, when judges come to me about cases that may be contentious outcomes, I specifically do not discuss them at length. And I specifically ask lawyers, like you can confirm this with Rami, for example. I've told Rami and Siobhan both that, for example, if Murphy were to appeal his outcome, that I don't want to be a part of them asking me how they should strategize, what information they should use, because I would like to be able to fairly evaluate if my judges did their job or not. And if I involve myself prior, then I'm unable to do so. Part of me moving into the Chief Justice role was accepting the oversight capacity and reducing my normal caseload. I typically do not take a large number of cases, because if I did, there would be no appeal to my decisions.
Let's say let's say that the fine isn't refunded. What then?
I think that let me check the language. I think we also should write we should codify the appeals process with the council as well.
Agreed.
Maybe we could combo this.
Are you sorry, just for my understanding, are you saying you're pardoning a person? Like, is this just like an expungement process but through a different means, or are you only going to be putting people up for a pardon for like one crime or one criminal incident or what have you?
One incident, so that would include all of the charges that were accrued during that particular incident.
Okay. I mean, it's yeah, I think overall it sounds good. I don't know what kind of language you want to put on it, but maybe like a person can only be put up for a pardon for a criminal incident once every 14 days or something.
Sure, I'm cool with that.
So I would suggest, for example, okay, hold on. I'm going to write language separately so as to not overwrite, and then describe how I'd like to merge it and see what you think.
Okay.
I'm
I
confused.
don't think you can text while somebody is editing the MDT. Oh no.
So are we getting rid of this the refund portion as well, Max? Or
Yeah, there's not really like much point to me writing
would,
notes for like stuff like
oh,
this.
let's wait for Crane to
because
finish writing.
like there's
Okay.
just gonna be some banter back and forth, and they're just gonna revise it until it's agreed upon. And I'm really like losing track of the back
Okay,
and forth.
so the paragraph I wrote, per the Constitution, citizens found guilty at trial, whether by bench or formal docket case, may appeal the decision to a panel chaired by the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice serves as the legal attaché to the panel, conducting the case in terms of procedure and legal protocol, aka I do the objections and shit like that, so we don't have to make it awkward and take too long. The Chief Justice does not solely determine the outcome of the appeal. 2 city council members, as chosen from a pool of non-conflicted from the Council of 8, will serve as panelists alongside the Chief Justice. Decisions made by this appeals panel are final and may not be appealed. And then we transition into the mayor of Los Santos reserves the right to suggest the pardon of a legal citizen of Los Santos should they feel that other aspects of government have not best served, and I would phrase it something like have not best served the interest of Los Santos. So that would allow for the fact that maybe someone's guilty, but maybe they've done so much or there were circumstances that made it so they must be found guilty by way of the law, but perhaps the law was inadequate in serving them. This would also help with something called ex post facto, which is like if I prosecute you for a crime, Max, and then we decide the law was poorly written and you got convicted because the law was poorly written, well, too bad you have to go to jail because the laws only changed after you got prosecuted, right? Ex post facto means changed laws can't apply to the past. What this would do would allow the mayor then to suggest a pardon and say, hey, look, guys, Max got prosecuted and then we changed the law after, so he should probably be pardoned, right?
And why not give the person who suffered that way their money back?
So I guess that would be something we maybe we vote on the refund. Maybe that's a good idea because now that you say it, it should be variable, right? Because if it's an ex post facto scenario, then I would agree they should get their money back.
Right.
But if we're pardoning someone because they represent such a benefit to society, I still think they should have been fined because they still committed the crime and they still deserve the fine, right?
I
So
don't
I
think a
guess
debate's
maybe it needs to be
necessary.
dynamic in that sense. So maybe we
It's
can
more
write
of
that
the
in somehow.
outcomes, I guess.
The mayor of Los Santos reserves the right to suggest the pardon of legal citizens of Los Santos should they feel the other aspects of government have not best served, that's
Sometimes
redundant, have not
Nathan be yapping
served,
now.
have not served the best interests of Los Santos. This places the judgment of the individual's case, which must have into question. Okay, I would rephrase this to maybe can we say like this places the individual's status as a how do you say that? You know what I'm getting at, right? Like how their status as an incarcerated as an inmate, or how would you phrase that?
I don't know.
Their correctional status.
This places their. Anybody got an idea how to phrase this? I'm trying to. Because we're pardoning, we're not questioning the judgment of the case. We're questioning whether or not they should be in jail. Which are two different things.
So Dakota said correctional status.
The individual's correctional status. Yeah, that makes sense. Correctional status. And then we get rid of the rest of that. Into question. Yeah, we just probably get rid of the parentheses, right? Into question before the council of 8 upon whom the responsibility is determined whether or not should stand on the legal record. Okay. Oh, and charges and punishment. Therefore, or change it to and/or, and that's perfect, right? Because then we can do one or the other.
Yeah, and we can throw something in at the bottom there to indicate that it will be variable.
Yeah. Perfect. So this will be accomplished by majority vote, be yay or nay. Okay. So we got to run through some scenarios here. Does serving on the appeals panel preclude you from voting on a pardon? The way we're phrasing it now, I might say no, because there are cases where I would find someone guilty in court and then pardon them. Like a lot, actually. There's a lot of cases I wish I could pardon people, even though I was forced to find them guilty. But because that's judicial activism, right?
Right. I like that.
Yeah. So anyone from the city council can vote. We're basically saying, and this is a good way to explain to the citizens, right? We basically say, look, there's some, and I say this all the time to people. There's some times where I enforced the law, I ruled correctly on the law, I'm confident justice was served in terms of how things are written, but I think the outcome was bullshit. And so the pardon could account for that bullshit part.
Quick question: does an appeal had to have happened before a pardon can?
And there's expungements after this.
I think that they should. I think that because sometimes the appeal will resolve the issue, right? And I think those cases should go through the DOJ. We should resolve the issue there, which allows us to set common law principle through the appeals process. And then if we determine that the law was handled correctly, we being myself and the two members of the city council, then we still might decide that we still think it should be pardoned, right? Which is separate.
Mm-hmm. This pardon, the spirit of the pardon, as I wrote it, still serves its initial purpose, even though it's placed in the hierarchy after the appeal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes sense to me. I think so. The idea is, yeah, okay, great.
So should we just add like after the appeal, the mayor of Los Santos reserves, just to make it clear it
after an appeal has after a decision has been issued by an appeals panel. Just so there's nobody because sometimes things are decided based on quote unquote appeals, and that's when you go to jail and there's no judge around, and then you get a docket case later.
What if you refuse to hear their appeal?
That's a decision, right? Our decision is we're upholding the lower court, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's an outcome.
You know? So at that point, that person
that's called summary judgment. That's called summary judgment. No, they'd still be entitled.
So they let me just get this straight. They submit an appeal. You uphold the judgment, therefore you do not hear their appeal. But they could still go for that pardon.
Let me close this loophole. Give me 10 seconds to write the language in the first paragraph.
Okay.
Sound good?
You're saying that a panel will be formed to determine whether or not they should be up for pardon, even though the summary judgment was upheld.
Yeah. So so here's how it would work. Max shoots someone in the head. Max goes to court. Max is found guilty. Max thinks the decision was bullshit. Max appeals. Crane assembles a panel from the city council. Crane explains the law to the people on the city council. Both members of the city council and Crane agree that there's no legal issue here. There's no problem with how the case was heard. There's nothing at issue, right? It's just nothing was done wrong. There's no possibility that they could ever view this as being appealed successfully. So they issue a summary judgment or dismissal of the appeal. That still constitutes a decision by the appellate panel. So then, regardless of the decision or the outcome, the pardon can still be suggested.
Good. I think some checks are healthy for the judicial. They take on a lot of responsibility in Los Santos. I think this is good.
I don't. Well, in the way I'm viewing it, I don't even view it as a check because I think In some ways it is, but basically I think it's a check on a lack of foresight sometimes because we can't be omniscient, right? And it's like a law can be considered well written and then some loophole can come up that you never thought of. So I think it's good to allow us to pardon people if we think the law failed. Not necessarily the people or the judicial system, but just the writing. After a decision has been given, the mayor's right to suggest a pardon. Okay, any council member who may possess a conflict of personal interest as far as the individual must immediately recuse themselves, right? If any council member was involved in the initial court case, right? Okay, good. So that way they can still be a part of the appellate panel. Ensure that at least 2 council members are impartial. Yeah, okay. It is not possible to execute a vote. Sounds good to me.
So
once, okay, hold on. Oh, wait, I take that back. Once every 14 days is pretty
short.
Yeah, because that won't even, there won't even be.
What do you think about 30?
30 seems more reasonable. I'm just trying to think if you could even find someone who got adjudicated twice in 14 days and got a panel together and voted and got a city. Yeah, it wouldn't even happen.
Yeah. Okay. The Chief Justice has lent his wisdom and revised the pardon. The pardon, as is currently, still serves as a way to represent the people of Los Santos in the light of a potentially unfair or or poorly.
That's why they have the
defined law.
fill-ins, which
I am for this. Are there any nays?
Yeah, 2 city council.
Just to make sure we're still saying if this goes through everything and it's a mayoral pardon, they get all the money back from the incident.
No, it's an option. We vote on that.
That'll be voted on.
Well, that needs to be.
It is. It says right here. If you look at the second paragraph where I'm highlighting.
At the bottom.
Oh yeah, see.
That's so cool that they can do that, dude.
They get their money back.
Oh, okay. Where's that?
I'll fix that.
All right.
Are we? This is just like a side topic, but related. Are they required to serve any time, or are they appealing straight away?
Appealing, they can appeal immediately.
I mean, with the length that this process may take, they're going to
Appealing, they can appeal immediately. Pardoning, yeah. I mean, they're going to serve some time regardless.
Okay.
I put if approved in parenthesis at the bottom there, Malton. Is that good?
Yeah, okay. I'm good then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this quells all my issues, so I'm good.
Any nays?
Only thing we haven't figured out, if there's no nays, how do we pick the 2 people to be on the panel with me?
I mean, you could just be like, who's free and wants
Who
to.
wants to?
Start
Yeah.
with. Yeah. Just start
Yeah,
with
because I
that.
don't want to force people.
This could also just be like a kind of like we're doing with open court, just which 2 council members are around at the time.
I was hoping for a lottery, throw everyone's name in a hat, and then you just pull 2 people.
Well, for example, a lot of court is scheduled by time zone.
Oh, true.
And
yeah.
so I'm either going to, when I schedule appeals, it's either my times, which is like 7 p.m. Eastern to like 5 a.m. Eastern, or it's weekends. So it'd have to, so usually, I mean, there's times when I can do it outside of that, but do we want to just leave it open and we'll just decide amongst ourselves? Do you think that's reasonable, or do you think it should be legislated? I don't know.
I think it should be open.
Yeah,
I
same.
think
Yeah, I don't have an
fair.
issue with it being open.
Yeah.
Cool, works for me.
30 days.
All right. We're gonna have to come up with a different name for this.
I already changed it.
Okay. Good. And just so everyone knows, everything that was approved and is completed, I'm going to throw into state announcements, and that makes it so that
Okay.
everyone can see it, right?
Why can I not?
State announcement? Yeah, I believe so.
Sick.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Where do you see the state announcements?
Did I just have
Is
this?
it-
No,
is-
no, I think he just meant like he's gonna, shoot it out over the airwaves, right?
So one
No.
one-
I meant in the report section. If you go to the advanced search at the top right,
I
you
don't
can-
know about that then. I don't know about if citizens can all see that or not.
we can check
I
it, but yeah.
believe that was the intent. I don't know if it is the case. I will warn you guys, and I'm sorry for this. Anything to do with the MDT is on hold for a week.
All right.
So
Okay.
we got what we got for a week. God bless the technicians, but they are going to be on vacation.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Let me call my wife and see if she can see. Actually, yeah, let me call my wife real quick.
Mhm.
Wait, where are the state announcements?
It should be a tab, much like legislation and stuff, that that people can, or it's under reports. I'm not sure.
It
To be
may
honest,
just be reports.
if it's
Is it-
under reports, then I do not think citizens can see it publicly.
There is definitely no tab for it, Crane.
Yeah, I do see the state announcement. Don't see that.
Because I don't think on a public MDT you even see reports in general.
I don't think so.
No, you just see the legislation.
Oh, maybe next week.
And then you can't actually view the legislation through
That might
or-
have to be a next week thing then.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
For now, I will do the due diligence of using the email server to announce everything.
All right.
Thank you.
Siobhan could not see the actual writing, so it looks
Yeah.
like that needs to be amended.
It'll be a week or so for now. I'll do it
it's-
all in the state email server.
Can we? So that means can we toss that in legislation then? All the stuff that we passed.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. All right. Cool. Sick. All right.
Okay.
Next up we have the.
Also, I still haven't put in the marriage stuff because I don't have the text for it. But I can go through the notes and try to create it.
See all the tags.
Wait. Do I have the text for that?
We kind of, it was one of those things where we kind of agreed on it, but I don't know if we didn't formally write it at the time because
we voted on the bullet points. But
we
not
didn't
the
have city
wording.
council documents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It was
have
a interest vote, I think it was.
I have the writing. I'll
Just make a document, a city council doc with it.
Good idea.
Hmm.
And I apologize, guys, but this, the MDT stuff is going to be like a slow drizzle.
No, there's no need to apologize.
I swear it is not as easy as it seems.
I believe that.
You good, Michael?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, just checking.
He's just resting his eyes. It's fine.
Hmm.
I have thrown in the mayor jack there. You can pretty it up as you please, based upon what we agreed
Roughly
upon.
at the 3-hour mark, I think.
Cool. All right, I see it.
Next, we have the
3.5
expungement
hour-
process, which
Jesus.
I will admit that I will probably need some insight on. I wrote what
This came in at
I
4:15.
I consulted
Oh
my
my
wife; she's a
God.
judge.
Holy fuck, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm not
Well, see,
opposed to it. I'm just,
Well,
sticker
It is a
shock.
lot.
my logic here is people are already buying cars that are $300,000. They're getting houses. They're doing all this stuff.
Really?
Wait,
Oh,
someone has
yeah.
a $300,000 car?
Absolutely, they do.
What in the fuck?
These fines are fine.
Jack it
yeah.
up even higher if you want now.
Yeah.
Can we implement like a mandatory rest period?
For how often they can get the expungement?
No, for how often they can work. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. I am for that. I am for that.
Oh, we try telling people to calm it down once they've been injured, but no one does ever.
I was thinking about like a 40-hour work week.
Yeah,
That is
Jesus
fair.
fucking Christ.
Like, just walk around in the work
$300,000 is
probably.
batshit insane.
That's
Mhm.
even with the hours
Yeah.
that I've pulled, I don't come close to that. That's
Well,
ridiculous.
once
it
those
also-
commercial license goes into effect, maybe that'll stifle a few people.
True.
Maybe. Yeah.
I also kind of wrote these fines in I wrote these with the fact that people could pool their money together as well as another method of possibly securing an expungement for themselves.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do that anyway.
Yes, smart, very smart.
So that's why I started so
We call
hard.
that the Jamal Fund.
So is the gist of it basically the only thing that we're legislating are these fines and the wanted stuff, and everything else is it's up to the DOJ to figure out?
Yeah, yes. And the violent capital crime exception.
Oh,
Sorry, just let me read through this without.
Yeah, you can look for the important mayor stuff real or not. That was that's been a fucking title since the deputy mayor shit. The important city meeting real.
Who's green?
It might be me. I don't see a green.
Did you just change the O to an A?
It sure did.
Okay, yeah, my man. All right. Let's see. I was literally thinking that looking at it as you did it.
Is there a limit specified that I'm not seeing?
It says 3. They can only do it 3 times.
The third and final time.
Should there be a cooldown?
Yeah, like you can only get one every.
I mean, honestly, with this kind of money, does there have to be? Like,
Well, I'll
now
just
it's
present.
not an
I'll
issue.
present a scenario. 2 months from now, the second mayoral election comes up. Someone has spent the entire first 3 or 4 months in this city, robbing and pillaging everyone. Growing fields of marijuana, robbing every G6 truck in sight, robbing every bank possible, and they have millions of dollars, but they have a record, so they can't run for office. They just dump a bunch of money and run for office.
Well, I mean, speaking as someone who was a prolific criminal before, I mean, with this council, it'd be pretty tough to do the kind of shitbag stuff you might expect someone to do if they were to get elected, even if they did get an expungement.
Yeah, it's true.
Also, the DOJ can just make this more restrictive as this is written. You could just provide guidance to the judges of a whatever cooldown period.
Yeah, I mean, we're still gonna have them be clean for a certain period of time in order to succeed the expungement. I'm just trying to think if we want. I think the money's a big enough deterrent for today's economy, and if the economy gets out of control, we can always change things.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Works for me.
Fair enough. And then, I mean, they hit the cap eventually anyway, so
Yep.
why not?
Any nays on the expungement process as is written, with the understanding that we can always revise it in the future? The expungement process is codified into law.
Sounds good to me.
The next one is potentially somewhat dense. The one-child policy. So I took it upon myself to define what adoption means. Okay, because the citizens
Can I hold on? I got a question.
Sure.
I just gotta fucking ask. Are you gonna try to pardon Acker, or are you just telling him to go grind 500K?
That's not for Acker. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. That was for no one in particular.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in general, right? Like, you want this guy as a legislative aide. He wants to be a lawyer. He's not becoming a lawyer with his record. The only two options are an expungement or a pardon. And I don't think he's gonna have 500K in the next lifetime.
I mean, he makes pretty good money as a mechanic. He's been moonlighting as a mechanic. I don't intend on pardoning or petitioning a pardon for Jonathan.
It is what it is.
At present, I do not. Okay, so the citizens of Los Santos kind of bastardized what it means to adopt somebody. It's been more of a kind of a social dap up between homies if they decide that they want to be closer than just friends or associates. So I took it upon myself to define what an adoption is as it is in Los Santos. And with that new definition, I have also attempted to define the parameters around what it means to adopt someone in Los Santos. And in the one-child policy, they are clearly written. I took into consideration a lot of the concerns and holes that were potentially presented the last time we met and we spoke about this. Of particular note are the toward the bottom there, the adoption family tree begins with the adopter and ends with the adoptee. At some point in this document, this pledge holds no particular legal ramification beyond the fact that the state shall issue an official certificate eventually to codify said adoption. I need to add something here as well.
I have an evil idea.
Oh,
You know how the
yeah.
IRS, you know how people in other jurisdictions put out bounties for
Hmm.
people who snitch on people?
Yep. I'm already working on something.
I know where this is going.
What if we put out a bounty if you snitch on people violating the adoption fraud law?
Yes, yes, yes.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god, yes.
I am already I am for that.
I look
Just,
forward to everyone hiring their own private unit to go do that.
They
And you
just
can vet them and
secretly record
everything.
them in public. We just approved that in the Bill of Rights.
Because the state's losing money, right? If people aren't going through it legally. And if they're not caught, then the state doesn't get the money through the fine. So what if we incentivize people snitching so that we get to prosecute and we get our money?
Okay, so we would need, hardcore evidence, right? Or is
Oh, yeah.
what if
Yeah,
so
It'd just be like a tip that leads to a conviction, right?
Okay,
Because the
so what
cops could
if-
still investigate.
Yeah, so what if we have like, so for example, there's someone who has who's quote unquote adopted 3 people. And so and then you have more than one individual testifying that they overheard this and that this was word of mouth from that specific individual. Would that be enough to then like be like, okay, yeah, we have 2 witnesses claiming the same thing? Or would we need like video evidence and shit like that?
I mean, it'd just be a tip that results in a conviction, right? So if I think Juno's breaking the adoption laws, I go to the cops and I say, hey, you're only supposed to adopt people if you have a formal certificate, and you're only supposed to have 1. And Juno's running around talking about she can't, do grime with me because she's got to go feed her 6 kids. And then a cop looks into it, and then she gets convicted, and then I get $5K.
Can I play a devil's advocate here and see if it holds any water?
Yeah,
absolutely. That's what we're here for.
I'm exercising my freedom of speech by saying that I've adopted these people.
But this would be fraud, adoption fraud.
Nope.
By
As
saying that.
as I described earlier, rights are limited by statute.
Okay.
So you can, for example, you can say anything you want, but if it amounts to a criminal threat, that's where your freedom of speech ends.
Okay. Noted.
I added a line about the bounty thing in the last paragraph. What do you guys think?
Bounty $5,000 paid to the state doesn't form a visual attempt to carry on illegal as far as adoption concerned. I claim they're works for me.
You want to ask the treasurer about that?
But you
before
need
we put
to
a monetary
maybe
amount on it?
say paid out of state to those informed individuals
If they're convicted.
which leads to a conviction. Upon
Criminally
conviction,
adopt you,
comma, a
dog.
bounty of 5,000.
Yeah, that goes crazy.
And actually, that's
Well, see, here's the thing, right? Because we're upon conviction, we're still making $25,000 for the state, even if we pay out that bounty.
Okay, but just to give you a heads up, we're barely moving $100,000 a day.
That's exactly what I was just going to ask you is to follow up on our status.
Like literally, it has taken almost a full week for the state account to go up $1 million when before the tax cuts it went up $1 million in 2 days.
Okay, so that's the information we needed. Which, hey, glad we didn't buy a helicopter, guys. Good work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
So
that's not just the tax change. I heard we were subsidizing like.
Well, yes,
the
and the
checks
government
also.
paychecks, all that.
Yeah.
But okay, we as of today, we're increasing some fines, and we're also going to put into effect the legal adoption stuff, which should provide some income.
And some worthless doctors are probably getting fired.
Very true.
As I understand, I don't actually know if that's actually going on.
No, it has happened.
Next mayor might have to raise taxes. I think that's fine. I think the people need a bit of leniency right now.
That's
sure.
Yeah, I mean,
So I
like
was,
as it stands, like I mean, it's still going up, but we just have to be mindful. Like
We're very
Have a
close
good
to neutral, is
night,
what you're
Tiny
saying.
Witch.
yes, very close.
That's fair. Hey,
Mm.
then we're good because we gave as much as we could give, and Max can say that to the people.
Yes.
Next, let's add adoption fraud as a charge to complement this.
I
Hmm.
Or rather, that's what we would have to do if this is approved. So let's go to a vote. But first, before we vote, does anyone have any additional concerns, Edda?
I just don't. I like I said, I get why like the extreme cases, but then like my own family, I just can't warrant telling my brother like you can no longer claim your dad's until you pay this money.
That's
I'm
fair.
personally fine with that. I think for me the question is just the limitation. Like, you know, if we make it into law, we're just like splitting up families at that point. So now they can't even follow our requirements if we limit it to one.
They
I
were
think
never
that's the
families to
part that-
begin with legally.
Well, I mean,
Look, there's always going to be those personal biases because Edo, I completely get you, but this will benefit Los Santos for the better.
But also in the same vein, those personal biases are good because you're representing part of the people of Los Santos who may stand opposed to this.
Exactly.
So your sentiment is valid, and I get it.
Also, just to clarify, if someone is like actually related by blood, they're still able to claim that familial relationship.
Yeah,
this
no,
is
of
adoption.
course.
So
yeah, but it's not, you know, it's like a lot of us. You
Yeah.
know, like my father died when I was very small, and you know, so for me to have people in my life who act as a father figure, like there's no blood relation, but that doesn't negate or invalidate that bond, you know, and to legally enforce it too, it's just I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, do you? Well, and I'm asking. I genuinely don't know. You said there's people in your life that have filled that role as a father figure.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a deal breaker for you to call them dad?
No. I mean, it doesn't change how I feel about them.
Right. So I don't think there's
so I'm not
anything.
even-
There's nothing preventing
Yeah.
people from like, being mentors or
I mean,
whatever. But
I call them I refer to them as my family, and there have been instances, emotionally charged instances, where I have referred to them as my fathers. But am I going to get charged because I'm upset and need my dad?
hey, listen, if you're concerned, I'll give you half of the 5K.
Yeah, I've only ever had the one daughter, and she's dead, so I don't think I got to pay for that. So I'm not personally, yeah, pretty much. I'm not
Hey,
personally.
cards on the
even,
table. I got
attached to
drunk
it
at
or
a meeting
anything.
one time and ended up with Kermie. So, or not Kermie.
Oh my god.
His cousin Bison. So it is. What it is.
Okay.
Wait, the
I
vibe
think,
killer is your son?
I'm still
Yeah.
down to. I'm still down to vote for this. I think.
Why are you
I'll
surprised?
back y'all, but I would.
True.
I do personally think if we're going to limit this by heavy fines as well as criminalize it, it would just make sense for people to be able to pay as much as they want. In my mind,
I
to
think we did
adopt as
discuss
many as they want.
possibly adding the ability to adopt more in the future, just to
Okay.
see how this rolls out.
Yeah, for sure. No, you're right. You're right.
I remember
Okay. Fuck yeah. All right. Yeah. Then you got me.
that.
I have a
We'll start.
question.
Well, hold on, Alex. We'll start like this. We will. I'm more than amenable.
We should change
to,
the title. I'm gonna throw that out there.
what the one child policy?
Yeah, that should be what we call a working title, like an internal title.
Yeah.
And then we should change it to a public-facing title.
We'll call it the adoption law for now. That's fine. Alex, what were you gonna say?
What if, like, say, like, I just walked up to Canner and been like, "Yo, what up? You my mom now." Like, what's to stop somebody
Well,
from
I guess
doing that?
I'm not adopting you.
You're committing
so-
adoption fraud.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify
It goes both ways. Do we need to?
Yeah, the child claiming the parent.
because there are
Because
some
I
people who
have
just
people
kind of
who call
shove
me
that
mom
on
that
people.
I don't like. Yeah.
They're committing adoption fraud. You
Yeah.
aren't.
Cool. Hmm.
Yeah, and that's what we have to work on next. If we
Wait, I
if we
could disown Bison. Holy shit.
Well, you don't have to
Sorry.
disown
You're
him.
free.
You don't have to disown him because as of the publication of this document, all
Yeah.
claimed adoptions are null,
This
void,
does it
and illegal.
legally. Good shit.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
adopt him. I
Bison.
fucked his mom.
Word.
Nice.
Oh.
my
Yeah.
Wait, who is that?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, we do. Are you kidding?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, you said you're putting all the cards on the table.
Listen, I was drinking so much at that time that Bison may as well have a mother who, gosh. You ever seen that documentary in Peru about the donkeys? I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
oh my
Crane.
God.
What?
All right.
Okay, that's too many cards on the table, I think.
I told you.
Hey, once we in it, like if we do over air on this, once it's publicized, can I twat out pick your favorite kids? Or pick
That
your
would be
favorite
funny.
child?
It's taught out there may only be one. Oh, combo. Oh, I wish. Damn it. No, I wish we had passed the fight to the death shit.
Michael's already gotten that.
You can make them pick by forced combat.
Oh,
All right, kids. I only got 30K. One of you's got to get in the pit.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael.
Yes, hello.
Oh my god.
Our board of directors member, Charlie Giannetti, is going to be real excited when this passes because I think he's been trying to get rid of all of his adopted children for years.
So
This is good.
the things that are stated as approved right now, are they technically publicized?
Not yet. It needs to be moved into the
yeah, they
legislation
can.
tab by Crane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me
yeah,
let me
no.
know when that happens.
I will affectionately refer to my Sundays now as Sunday Fun Day, which I enact legislation.
Hell yeah.
So, what do you think of the definition of the adoption fraud charge at the bottom there?
Felony or misdemeanor?
Misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Misdemeanor.
All right.
It would be crazy if someone got blocked out of government jobs for adopting two children.
Yeah, that should be really fucking funny.
That would-
Actually.
that would be wild.
Can we do that? It'd be really fucking funny.
It would be a little bit funny.
I
mean, it
guess
is fraud.
we could have a felony adoption fraud charge where if someone does it like 3 or more kids.
It just goes up by the amount of kids. That would be
Yeah.
great.
First degree adoption fraud.
That would just be Bass with like 10 kids.
Can I
and
request that we
20.
just keep the one for now and then see
how
how
it
it plays
works
out?
out.
Yeah,
and then
yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely.
and I can come back to you on some hard data on how easy or difficult this is to actually investigate.
I kind of did a layup for the city by way of you said it earlier, Dakota, with the
How many
public view
years? It's a fine of 50
Yeah.
grand. No years.
So it might be easier than people might expect, depending on how blabby they are.
Yeah, honestly.
The for the judges or lawyers in the
Well,
room, how
hold
do you,
on.
How do
If
you
you
look?
have a conversation in open air, that's still a private conversation.
Is it?
Oh, so for example, if I'm standing right next to you and you and I are whispering, and I have to use the device to record the conversation, that's still wiretapping.
Huh.
Okay, but let's say someone's in like on the sidewalk, or
Oh, if it's overheard, then it's fair
Mhm.
game. But
yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm
That's what I
saying,
mean.
you know, you can't like entrap people by being like, "Hey, Bill,
So
how are your 4 kids doing?" And then you turn on your recording device.
like the onus falls on the Department of Justice to kind of clearly define that. We did
No,
leave
I
it
think-
purposely
I
kind
think it
of
would be a
open-ended for that
gigafine.
reason.
Yeah, I don't know, because this jurisdiction's a little funky. Because here, I'll give you some insight on where my head's at.
Sure.
Typically, the reason why we have disallowed recordings in court is based upon the justification of the 2-party consent. The only recordings we typically ever deal with in court are recorded interrogations. So for the purposes of argument, I think we probably have to say that if it's out in public, if someone has like a video cam, like, and here's another thing, right? Do we allow recordings from a cell phone?
I would say no, but once again, that's something for the DOJ to decide.
Maybe the
further.
video. Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking through some shit. Maybe the video camera. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Personally, I'm not a fan of phone recordings.
Yeah.
But,
anyone could buy a news camera these days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So definition of adoption fraud charge. Could this be tightened up in any way, or is this sufficient?
Seems clear enough to me.
I think that's fair enough.
Where'd you get
What-
that?
Oh, I'm going.
Okay.
He's got a cot.
It's
What-
crazy.
What
What the hell?
That's
Can
crazy.
I get one of
Michael.
those?
That under the chairs here?
Can I lie down on that as well? What
I
the
used
hell?
to. I had one of those. I had one of those military cots. I slept in a side room while Carmelo was renovating my house back in the day. I had that exact same one.
IKEA benefits.
Yeah,
Oh
can
my
I get one of
God.
those for my office?
Right?
Why is this a?
Hi.
Here, come here. Next to me. Fuck, hang on.
Oh wait, I'm gonna get grabbed.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
I don't have any issues with this as written. I mean, but I also don't have a moral objection to it. So,
Okay.
No, me either, really.
Let's take it to vote. I vote yay.
Yay. Sorry, not my turn.
That's fine. Nakota?
I will vote yay.
Malton? Philippa?
Yay.
Crane?
with apologies to the Madam Treasurer, I vote yay.
Juno?
Sorry, yay.
Mr. Simone?
Yay.
Edda?
Nay.
As a with a vote 7-1, the one-child policy, which is the working title in the future adoption law, has been passed into law for the city of Los Santos to clean up the streets of these weird incest fucks.
Hell yeah! All right. Wow, that's our first pass. That's not like all 8. That's pretty.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
sorry
good.
to break the combo.
It's all good.
No, obviously,
No
it's
one-
really okay. Yeah.
Look, as the proverbial
meeting
stick in the
longer than the
mud,
last
that
one?
position is
The last one was
necessary
4
and valued.
hours.
So never apologize.
Absolutely. Mhm.
No,
I mean, I still had questions. I just barely, I got there. Fuck it.
Yeah, for the record, the shit that you got going on with your family, that's not weird incest shit. I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
I'm talking about. There's some.
There
real
are
deranged
people that are
fuckers.
weird.
No,
Yeah.
trust me, I get it. I know the stories.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Oh god, and we also have emergency contacts lists that are like dozens long sometimes, and it's all family. So I'm perfectly fine with getting rid of that.
All right, everything is approved.
Yeah, we are done.
We done?
We are
yeah.
done.
Max,
Okay.
I've already made some outreaches, but I assume you'll have those conversations too about the whole Death Coliseum thing. Besides that, was there anything else we needed further discussion or outreach on?
I think we're good. We did it. This one was technically shorter
Yeah.
than the last one. Good work, everybody. Wait, hold
Hell
on.
yeah,
Just a
right.
few
No,
minutes, yeah.
Just
By a few minutes.
Barely.
you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. It was a pleasure, boys and girls.
All right.
Yeah.
Good job,
That's
guys.
a lot
Thank
more
you.
this
Okay.
time.
Get so much done.
All right.
Thanks, gentlemen, ladies.